Greetings, family. Welcome to Pan-Africanism Towards Nationhood, building a global Black business pipeline. Greetings, family, again, and this is Bomani Tyehimba and Kala Genesis, and we're the kings of Pan-Africanism and Nationhood. And family, another beautiful live stream we have tonight. My good brother here, who's always got something special for you, always ready to educate and connect with our audience. So, family, be prepared, be ready. And this is tonight's topic. What is our African birthright? Does anything tangible belong to Blacks in the Americas, African diaspora? The African Analysis, Afrikstan Analysis family with Bomani Tyehimba and Kala Genesis family coming at you live and direct. So, family, this is our topic. Two questions. What is our African birthright? And does anything tangible belong to us here in the African diaspora? So yes, my brother Kala Genesis is gonna also break it down, break it down. But Kala, before you get into it, let me just let people know about all the information on all our upcoming journeys of a lifetime to Africa. Because family, if you hear all these wonderful, incredible information about Africa, one of the most incredible and impressive way to get a feel of the entire experience, family, is to join one of our journeys of a lifetime. And below, you'll see the information below. You can connect to me via phone number, email address, and also definitely check out the website, africafortheafricans.org. And then you can browse through and you can view all of the upcoming journeys we have and full schedule with full details. And I'm going to go and show you a quick view of the website. So, family, our connection is to Liberia, Egypt, Rwanda, Senegal, Gambia, Tanzania, South Africa, and Ghana. And this is our connection, family. 8 incredible countries between 2023 and 2024. And then we're just going to rotate them and then just keep on upping it. So, family, what you have to do is go to our website. There's a quick view. All right, africafortheafricans.org. And once you get to our website, you'll see an incredible slideshow that showcase 16 years of our Africa tours and investments journey of a lifetime. So that's 2006 to 2022. So that's 16 years, and this year will make year number 17, and then next year 18 years, and that's a portfolio of experience across not just doing Africa tours, but opening up to a world of connecting as far as investment, business, doing Black cooperative economics, creating a legacy, import, export, just setting up this international global Black business pipeline as we talk about. And if you want to hear some nice music, we also have a nice MP3 slideshow, and you can just enjoy the music or you can mute it. But once you scroll down, you're going to see all of the details from the main menu on the left. And the highlight there is Black Star Repatriation and Pan-African Community. And that's our vision and our future aspirations to build an incredible African diaspora / Pan-African community for repatriation and investment, so we can put more of our resources together and be more competitive and work stronger with our own brothers and sisters in the different countries. And mainly this one is focused on our connection there in Jahadzi, there in Ghana, and that is about 2 hours away from Accra and about 2 hours away from Cape Coast. So you're right there in the middle, and you're right there by the ocean. And as you breeze down our website, you'll see a whole list of tours on the left-hand side, but also you see a nice introduction, so you can see everything all together right there, right below the logo. So from exclusive African safaris to Tanzania, working with our tour crew on that side. This is more of a custom tour, very in detail, because people ask me, are we going to do a full-fledged safari? But our tours are 9 days, so we don't usually use half of them to do safaris, but we can organize that, or you can do an optional tour after you finish the regular Tanzania journey. But coming up on our next journey of a lifetime, and this is in the next 16 days, family. We're heading to Senegal and the Gambia on our Roots Culture a Journey of a Lifetime tour. And that's March 30th to April 9th. So we're well set, well organized, ready to make that journey and enjoy both countries, Senegal and the Gambia, and look to document as much of the experience as possible and share it for future dates that we don't currently have. But this is that journey. If you even want to jump on right now, just be ready and we'll take you there. So from there, we'll head for our Ghana repatriation investment tour. That's May 24th to June 5th, 2023. And family, these are all journeys in progress. Once we come back from Senegal, we'll be here for for over for over a month and a week or so, and then we're right there. So these are two back-to-back journeys that we do, and this is taking you all along West Africa. And then from there, we're heading to Rwanda for our summer journey of a lifetime. And that's July 20th to the 30th, 2023. And then our fall journey is Tanzania. And this will be our fourth Tanzania journey. And that's November 16th to the 27th. And then we're going to close the year off doing Christmas and New Year's for our South Africa Roots and Culture Tour, December 24th to January 4th. So that is our journeys for 2023. And then 2024, we're going to set it off in our feature journey, Liberia Reconnection Investment Tour. That's March 29th to April 9th. So family, that's 1 year from now. Reaching out to those who are interested to get prepared, get ready. But most important, just click on the link and then read through the full itinerary, the full overview, the full details. And that way you're clear. You can reach out to me. Lock in a deposit and let's get you set. This is going to be an incredible journey. We're going to take it to the next level. And our featured guest is going to be the Kala Genesis. One of our good brothers here. We're gonna we're working together strong on this family. We're bringing on something more tangible as far as investments and connections. So once we experience that journey, we have a whole lot to showcase to you. So the plan is we have a nice arranged business and investment conference. So we're going to put that together to where it's going to be very impactful. So we're going to open up all clarity as far as all the things you want to know, all the issues that you have had in other African countries. If you want to know, you're going to have the same issues. How does things work in Liberia versus other countries? So we're going to get all into those things and this is showcase and share more with the world. So yes, family, the journey of a lifetime is taking you to Liberia, the iconic historical country that Africans and the diaspora ancestors built a civilization, a future for us 200 years later as we take part on pushing our repatriation move to another level. So family, that is that special journey. So when you look on the website and you see the banner below, that's usually the featured tour banner. So looking for you to reach out so we can connect. And then our summer journey is going to be Ghana Journey of a Lifetime Repatriation Investment Tour. That's July 11th to the 23rd. So family, that's going to be another incredible journey where we do an incredible investment conference, and also we take you to our community. And as we take you to our community, all you're seeing is this our community growing and growing and growing as more houses are coming up and figuring out more things in this, moving forward stronger. All right, then we're gonna have a nice fall journey to the historical ancestral land, Egypt, roots and culture journey. So that's a historical journey, which also includes adventure us enjoying paradise there in the Red Sea. So it goes beyond the Nile civilization, but it also connects you to all aspects of Nile civilization, and also just connect you on an incredible cruise from Aswan to Luxor. So all those details, family, are right there with a click of a button, and you can just process the details. Then below, you'll see a land for sale / investment at Black Star Pan-African Community. So once you click on that, it's details to read, and we encourage you to read through the details, be prepared, be ready. That way, when it's time to make these moves, you are ready, you're clear. So you can always take your time, process through our website, And then as you scroll down, these are just updates and special features and details. And definitely also there's a list of all the countries that we're going to again, and the conference calls that we just talk about all these different journeys. And as you can scroll down, it's just more wealth of information, all of our online pages, so you can just review, check out our historical experience across Africa over the last 16 years, and see all of the incredible photos from different countries, and LinkedIn for the background of all the special things that we've built our skills in to be able to deliver all these incredible journeys of a lifetime. All of our Facebook pages. And then as you scroll down, what you're going to see is from 2002 all the way back to 2006, you're going to see every single tour that we've taken in a group setting. And that includes a good, I want to say about 8-9 countries. So you can take your time and scroll down from our Ghana to our Tanzania. And as you scroll down more, you'll see different countries. And that's always our feature, Ghana and Tanzania. And Senegal and the Gambia, which we're coming up on next. We're just building more energy there. And South Africa, that makes 5 journeys right there. Or I should say 5 countries. And Togo and Benin, 6 and 7. Brazil 8, and then Ethiopia 9. And that's all of us, family, all of us, the beautiful Black people, all of our wonderful brothers and sisters enjoying an incredible experience like never before. That's why we call it a journey of a lifetime. So there you go, family. And that is our first time doing these incredible Africa for the Africans journey. So there you go. That's the link for Liberia Reconnection and Investment Tour, March 29th to April 9th, 2024. So reach out, and I'm going to go to top. And family, we're going to get started with our main scheduled program with our feature star, the star of the show, Kala Genesis. All right, Kala Genesis, let's get ready to rumble, brother.
What's going on, brother?
I know you're back in effect. So family, that is our topic tonight. And as I mentioned, you'll see the scroll down at the bottom. Reach out, connect, and let us get you connected to Africa Tours and Investment. Yes, Kala Genesis, this is the topic. What is our African birthright? Does anything tangible belong to Blacks in the African diaspora? So how you feel about that? I know this is a personal.
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling
feel
great.
happy and excited. Africa is calling for you and everything, and we're gonna offer you everything that you need to build an Afrikstan.
Great. The bottom line is this, man. There's about with everything we go to do as Black people, right? There's always gonna be somebody in the way. Now, for the longest time, we always said, "Oh, the white man's the problem. White man's holding us back." And I'm seeing now, the biggest problem that we've never dealt with is the enemy within. Negroes standing in the way of progress. Negroes getting in the way of what you want to do. If somebody's doing something, right, if you don't disagree with it, let that person do that person and that be it. We have situations now where you got African Americans who want to go to the motherland. You got clowns. Like I sent you a video of some clown the other day talking about when you go to Ghana, you got to speak this, you got to talk this. And the guy that's in Ghana doing it as a Kenyan. Is a whole ass Kenyan talking about what Black America should be doing, and everybody want to police Black America like we don't have a natural birthright just to be on the continent. You know, we just you know. You know, we just want to basically go there and just be guests. You know, when are we gonna stop feeling like guests and feeling like we have a natural birthright wherever we go on the African continent? You know, I admit our culture is really, really westernized and the way we talk and stuff like that. But it seems to me, proves to me that the idea of race, we're racialized and Africa is tribalized. Saw a video the other day where this sister was talking about, every time we fight, the white man benefits and everything. Yeah, well, how do you guys stop fighting each other? What's going on in the Congo right now is because black people are fighting black people, and the people who benefit from this are Europeans. And I got a video I want to send you to play. Well, this white lady from Vice TV, she went to the Congo, right, and talk about the conflict in the Congo, right? She couldn't keep Paul Kagame's name out of her mouth, Forget about the European countries that are benefiting from coltan and all stuff like this, right? She want to focus on Paul Kagame. And then when she tried to ask local Congolese, it's like, well, it's deeper than Paul Kagame. We got rebels that have been there since the 60s, and in the eastern region. But Paul Kagame, isn't he the main benefit? They almost out. It's almost like they're telling us we're stupid, we're stupid. And the bottom line, they can come and dictate. She didn't mention the Belgian. She didn't mention the Canadians. She didn't mention the Americans and all these other people that are looting the Congo, right? Her focus was on Paul Kagame, right? Because if you got civil war brewing in Africa, what better way of blaming one African bad guy against the other African bad guy, While they sit there and reap all the wars, come in as a white savior to save the day, And so this is what we're up against. And there's a global conspiracy to basically demonize black people, demonize each other, and particularly demonize black people in the West. People always question our motives. Oh, they even go so far as calling us colonizers. They call me Kala the colonizer,
Wow, that's what it rhymes.
Yeah, colonizer. What the fuck am I colonizing? And I it was on a show today. One of my friends called me and said, "Look, you got to get on this debate about Liberia." They say Liberia was colonized. When I broke it down, that Liberia never had a mother country, right? Our ancestors built Liberia, right? The remnants of what their culture and civilization is still there, despite the fact that, there's people that want to erase that history or not change the name and change the flag and all this kind of stupid stuff, which is never going to happen, because Liberians know their heritage and everything. And all those bitter-ass Liberians, particularly the Kru tribe, they always want to remake Liberia into their own image, right? But you got to build something. And this is what we have right now. And I'm going to talk about people are not going to like what I say about the black people going to Tunisia right now. I had a debate with, they're going to Tunisia and whatnot. They should go there. The same person come from South Africa and talk about, well, we're sick of all the Zimbabweans and everything coming here, robbing, stealing jobs, everything like that. But you think it's perfectly fine for them to bum rush Tunisia and them to say, no, we don't want you here. And so, like I said, what belongs to us? Like I said, render to Caesar what is Caesar's. What belongs to black people? What belongs to us? What belongs to the black man? What belongs to the black man in the West? And we're part of Africa. We're part of Africa. There are any African leaders bringing African Americans on a high level to make sure that we have ownership in what we lost? The lands that these gold mines and diamond mines and lithium mines come from wasn't our ancestral land, right? How come we're not African Americans and the diasporas of Jamaicans aren't at the board benefiting from these mining contracts and everything like that? Why don't we have ownership in any of this stuff like that goes on? Why is it that you got a country like Equatorial Guinea, right? I sent you a TikTok, right? The president of Equatorial Guinea, right? While his country lives in filth and poverty, right? He basically is making billions of dollars in his personal bank account. His kids live all over the world, stuff like that. And everybody's too scared to even ask. It's like this. What we're gonna end tonight is right. This intimidation black people in the West have in dealing with African monarchs and African big mouths and everything like that. They're living in America on Section 8 and welfare and stuff like that, telling you what you can't do in your mother continent. Oh, you gotta do this. You gotta do this. No, we're gonna do what the hell we want to do, right? Because a crime was committed by taking us to America. So, well, you got so much of it. So what? We don't care what we have in America. We have an African birthright. And so the bottom line, anybody who gets in our way are basically enemies of Black America. You know, anybody who basically gets in our way of what we want to build, we don't care about no government. These governments were not formed without consent. Nobody asked us when Nigeria was formed. Nobody asked us when the DR Congo was formed. Nobody, and even though our bloodline comes from these countries, right? We weren't at the table when the Constitution and the land was in the states and everything like that was divvied up. So what the hell do I gotta respect? Voluntarily respect something that I had no control over building. You know. So this is what we're talking about tonight. You know, folks, we're talking about this stuff tonight because it's high time that when we talk about Pan-Africanism, right? And also, our intentions in Pan-Africanism is always about good. We're always about trying to build and try to create and try to connect and everything, and we're getting blowback. So you telling me that the building technical schools and learning centers and stuff like that we're trying to build is the wrong thing, where both our people and the native Africans could benefit from? That's the wrong thing. That's the wrong thing to do. And so, like I said, there's nobody really serious about building the continent on the ground. And also tonight, I want to send this one guy a text because I want this guy to come on here. I'm sick and tired of these fake ass Pan-Africans, right? They're always looking for they're always looking for beef and squabble and everything under the name of Pan-Africanism. The word Pan-Africanism doesn't have any really meaning anymore. For example, right? If you ask most people, the people who overthrew Patrice Lumumba, they'll swear they're Pan-Africans. The people who quote Kwame Nkrumah, they'll swear they're Pan-Africans. The people that basically helped kill Thomas Sankara, they'll swear all about Black Pan-Africans and everything. There's no standard when it comes to Pan-African. People could practice tribalism, sectarianism, and all this stuff like this, and ethno-nationalism and all this kind of nonsense, and call it Pan-Africanism. So that's why we have to be clear what we're talking about. If you basically think that Paul Kagame is the number one enemy in Africa, well, you're not a Pan-Africanist. If you basically can't understand why tribalism and elevating these chiefs and all these other people that people listen to in this late day and time is you're not a Pan-Africanist. If you can't tell me that a country like Swaziland, who basically the people still running around naked and everything, while the British and the foreigners own all the countries, own all the resources, everything, and has the puppet king on a payroll and everything, it's not Pan-Africanism. That's not Pan-Africanism. I'm sorry. If you can't understand why we basically are against why people have nothing to say about the racist sanctions on Zimbabwe right now, and you're not a Pan-Africanist. I had people up there telling me back there, well, Mugabe, so-called Pan-African, telling me, well, Mugabe's been in power for all these years. It's time for him to go. So it's okay to put a puppet in there that's going to let the Europeans and the Chinese do what they want to do, and then having somebody like Robert Mugabe, who basically took land back from the whites and gave it to the blacks and everything like that. He's under international sanction. He hates, the white man hates him, and you hate him. Something wrong with that picture. The Europeans hate Paul Kagame, just like they hated Robert Mugabe. But yet you're so stupid in your zeal and your tribalism, your foolishness and everything, you hate Paul Kagame too. Oh yeah, he's causing war in the Congo. So the Congo War from the 1920s, 30s, 40s, was that Paul Kagame? The conflict and instability in that region of Congo that was raging since the time of when Muhammad Ali and Foreman fought and the days of Patrice Lumumba, was that Paul Kagame too? Or it could be Paul Kagame just basically trying to protect his country and everything, and he's doing legitimate business. And the world hates him, the fact that he could do all the way, because he's at it's like a propaganda. The West thrives on propaganda. They hate the fact that Paul Kagame is building his country without them. He's turned his country into a first world country. He got rid of the French language. That's the French influence is gone. The French are the number one power brokers in Africa. All the other African countries take cues from the French. If the French fall out with a country, well, next come the British, next come the Belgium, next come the United States. The United States doesn't know what it does in Africa. All it sees is that Europeans must know what they're doing, and we always outsource. American policy in Africa is always outsourced to European NATO partners. So with that, right, we say, what is ours? What is ours on the continent? What is our foreign policy? How do we engage the continent? Do we have a right to interject in African affairs and put our thing? We got people like this Linda Hatsfield Green, whatever her name is, right? She's going around threatening African leaders. She's a U.S. ambassador to Africa. I don't know what the hell she'll post this and everything. She's going around threatening African leaders, saying you have to do this. And then you got a puppet, a clown bureaucrat who's the defense secretary of the United States, who's building military operations all over the continent and everything. And we, people in the Pan-African world, just sit back and be quiet and watch out. And they put AFRICOM and all these other things on the continent, right, to keep Western interests alive and everything. And they put black people and they put a black face on it, like this Eric, what's his name? What's the name of the mayor of New York? We're all Africans and everything. Why you're basically pushing a U.S. agenda in Africa? You know, that's the face of Africa. We don't have a legitimate stake in the continent that says this is what we want, this is how we see it and everything. We have to push. We're so low down that our Pan-African agenda is pushing the American imperialist agenda in Africa. That's how we're talking about tonight, folks. And this is how we're getting down tonight. This is how we're telling the truth tonight. So anybody has questions for the Kala Genesis, you want to rumble with the Kala Genesis, you know how to find me. You just go click that link button when we put it in, and you come right on in. You know, so we'll and you'll get handled, you know.
There you go, brother. You sure you're ready for them?
Yeah, you got some questions?
I'm sure they got some plenty of questions. Yes, family.
Somebody says Europeans don't hate Paul Kagame. Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna find this video. I'm just sick and tired. He's obviously a continental African. You know, like, that's what they do. If they don't like somebody, they try to make it seem like Europeans are behind you and everything like that. This is the problem with the past. They said the same thing about Thomas Sankara. Europeans don't hate him. Europeans don't hate him. Whatnot, you know, because somebody's strict and put their foot down about how to build that country and everything. You don't like it, so you try to create the straw man argument that Europeans are behind them. Europeans are behind it, right? They said the same thing about Patrice Lumumba. You know, they'll say anything about anybody to try to discredit them. And the stupid Pan-Africanists go along with anything these people say. They said the thing about Tolbert in Liberia. You know, oh yeah, the real natives, Samuel Doe took over. Samuel Doe was a cannibal and a tribalist. You know, so therefore they said the same on Tolbert, right? They'll sit down. That's what shows you when people are illiterate. You know, we have a culture of people, black people,
business.
They're just fucking illiterate. They don't know anything about history. They don't know how geopolitics work. They don't know what's going on. So you give these people a voice and whatnot. That's why I say you come on this show, you get eaten the fuck up, you know?
Reading is fundamental. We have to encourage people to do research, study. That way when we talk and communicate, we can communicate in a professional, respectable manner. And that's how I'm always telling people, family, when you're reaching out, I appreciate all the brothers and sisters reaching out, but reach out by doing, at least some research and looking into certain things so we can have better conversation when we're talking about tours, business, investment, or anything. So, brother Kala Genesis, let me go through some of these comments. Let me see if anything is important or anything that's really stand out or catch you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's start with the first one right here. The question is, does anything tangible belong to Black Americans in Africa?
Well, it's like this. One thing you have is your posterity, right? Your posterity. In other words, basically, before you get anything tangible, right, you got to have that. In other words, basically, the idea that slave trade was a crime, and African Americans and everything have a natural affinity towards the country of their ancestors and their bloodline and their heritage. So therefore, that right there has always never been questioned, right, until now. It's only been now because we see there's people trying to the world's trying to get in on Africa, right? So if Africa has anything of value, right, suddenly the rules change, Suddenly, you've been in America for 400 years. Well, the Jews been outside of Israel for 2,000 years. And they returned back to the Palestine and created a state, right? We basically are only 400 years removed. Some of us not even 200 years. Some of us came here in the 1800s. So basically, we're still part of the story. The idea of black people in the West connecting with Africa is not like, oh yeah, that was thousands of years ago. You know, we're not talking about 5,000 years ago. We're not talking 4,000. We're only talking about 400 years. So therefore, now that you have black people in America basically going to the continent, opening businesses, investing, buying land, suddenly, you know, something is not get your black ass, take your black ass back to Africa. We don't want you in America anymore. Suddenly, we're Americans now. Damn, I never felt like an American until I started talking about building in Africa. Oh, you're American. You're like that. Damn, man, you could have fooled me. Why don't you tell that to the Ku Klux Klan and the neo-Nazi, you know? Nothing in Africa belongs to us. I know this is a FBA ADOS goofball, you know.
All right, here's another one. Is another one. I'm back at you.
We are in Africa with Black America. What is a Black American? You're an American painted black. You know, you're an American painted black. We're Black American. That's why I said. That's why I said when I hear Nac Measy say something about Black American, that's what they mean. They're not African, you know. You know, anybody use that term Black American, that's all they want to do is be a white person with a tan. You know, it's either white people with tans talk about, you know, they're white in their mind. I mean, I have no problem calling myself an African American, right? Because I don't want to be associated with white America and American creed. I'm a African and American, Afro American, African American, or African in America, whatever. You know. Kala, what show did you have this debate on? No, it was on a Twitter. It was on a Twitter handle. You know, Jamal, when he gets in there, I guess he could tell you where if he comes on tonight, he'll tell you where it's at. You know. I think Kala Pan has run his course. The message is always targeting at Black America, 50 kind of Black. That tech root. Well, Pan-Africanism has tech root. You know what I'm saying? Look at Bomani. Look at myself. You know, Pan-Africanism has not run a course. It's just the fact that people have hijacked it and run it off course. You know, it hasn't run its course. It has been hijacked by clowns, buffoons, idiots, and people who aren't really studied on Africa, basically taking it and running course. Anybody with a YouTube channel can get up here and call themselves a Pan-Africanist, you know? All they do is get up here. They haven't studied, putting research in, and understand that this is global. We're part of the African, we are the African race of North America, and we basically understand how geopolitics work. Black America could be instrumental in basically shaping U.S. policy in Africa. You know, so that is Pan-Africanism. So you're gonna tell me the reaction to apartheid South Africa, how we spent like 2 decades bringing the apartheid regime down through sanctions and all kinds of stuff, through movies, through books, through songs, everything like that. You're gonna tell me that changed the world. South Africa was a major world power, and we freaking crippled that country, you know, because we didn't like the racist thing. Now, if we weren't Pan-African, we would just say, forget them, forget it. We just worry about ourselves. But traditionally, Black America has never been that type of people. We've always been Pan-Africans in America. So this idea of Pan-African run its course, Pan-African has never even gotten started. You haven't seen anything yet, bro. Stick around for a little while.
All right, let me see. What about this one right here? All right, so that was a different comment. So, family, that is the link. You want to join us? You want to debate? You want to talk with Kala Genesis? You want to share information? You want to connect with us? We are live and direct. So that is the link in the chat and reposting. All right, so this one we got right here. DK, tribalism is just modern day coonery, a plantation mentality that many Africans have, unfortunately. I don't see the rest of the comment, but
tribalism. Yes, modern day coonery. It's shuck and jive. Europeans come over here, they put on their tribal stuff and nonsense, and while everybody's laughing at them, you know, in their ignorance, you know. The world don't see tribes; they see people by their race, you know, and their nationality. And the bottom line is, look, Africa gets no respect because it doesn't produce anything that the world needs. You know, what you ask the average African, what have you given to the world besides exporting your misery and poverty around the world. You know, we have more Africans living in other countries on other people's resources and everything like that. How many Africans per continent live on America? You know, how many of them live in Europe? They always go into other countries when they're trying to like this instead of building the African continent. That's why no one in the world doesn't respect Africa. And then we got African Americans say, look, man, not only should we be able to come build, there's no way of Africans who live overseas come back to help build their country, you know? Yeah, Stacey Abrams, I really don't care about Stacey Abrams. I really don't care about Nigeria. It's also what is the election? Election observer. Nigerian elections were corrupt. They're corrupt. They stole the election and whatnot. And they outright. So I'm gonna say something that's gonna shock people. I really don't believe. I believe the democratic process does not work in Africa. Look at Nigeria, all tribalized and everything like that. They got with a 90-year-old guy. The guy looks like he's barely alive. Gonna run a country. Something that somebody in their 50s should be doing. A leader should be in his 40s, 50s, maybe 60s. But that's it. You got a guy that's 90 years old. It's his time to lead and everything. Is he up for the challenge? No, because the people that put him up there know they're gonna get away with rape and murder of Nigeria. They're gonna put the final nail in the coffin of making sure Nigeria stays in a prominent state of quagmire. So that's why I don't blame the Biafrans to basically say we want to bail and build our own state and everything and get recognition. Yeah, I'm gonna put it like today. I'm gonna say I recognize Biafra. I recognize Ambazonia in Cameroon. For all it's worth. You may say, what does that mean? But I'm gonna keep saying that I recognize Biafra. I recognize Biafra. I recognize the legitimacy of the breakaway Republic of Biafra in eastern Nigeria, and I also recognize the breakaway Republic of Ambazonia in the northwest Cameroon. So you could take that to the bank. Why? Because I'm not going to sit here and prop up failed states that haven't done anything for anybody. Anyway, that's why I said, and we black people now, just by me saying that, right? Imagine if basically entertainers and platforms and everything like that say we were. Do you think that Phil Scott of the Diaspora Channel will say, you know something, man? I studied it. He doesn't probably know what's going on, because you got to get out. Let me tell you something, folks. You want to be Pan-Africanists. You Pan-Africanists that are just new elementary school Pan-Africanists. Let me tell you something, right? Don't fall for every time some African leader, right, talk about racism. Their situation is not like ours. We will take it out of Africa, right? We're living under a government where for the most part, white people and white races control everything we do. We still manage to succeed in America. We still manage to have joy. Have oppressed. We still create Detroit, Harlem, and all these things like that. All this thing that America. We're still giving the world in our oppression so much to the world, right? Africans are oppressed by their own leaders who choose to be partnered with anybody that'll give them an envelope or a suitcase full of money. So that's what you see. So when Africans start talking about, oh, this country did this or not, I look to your leaders. The Africans elect leaders based on tribal lines and stuff like this. And then when they get in trouble, like Tunisia, people come across the desert in Tunisia, we're supposed to be like, yeah, you should go to. No, you don't. You chose also every country. What country they fleeing to? I'm fleeing from Burkina Faso. Didn't you elect the guy that you're fleeing from? You're gonna have a whole bunch of Nigerians fleeing from Nigeria under Tinubu. He takes office, right? So we should be like, hey, yes, my brother, my oppressed brother. No, it's not the same thing. You don't get here to freaking come to the West and everything and talk about oppression when you add it to your own oppression. You made that decision. The white man at least gave you governments, right? So you can make some sort of decision. Or be like, we don't have that. Black America has no government. We have no government to make decisions. So we can't be responsible or blamed for anything wrong in Black America. Because we don't control things. If there are floods of Black people in America fleeing out of here in destitution of other countries, we still can, because we're not the ones controlling the country. You have to blame the white man. But when problems concerning Black America, like the inner city crime and everything like that, the Africans don't freaking look at the white man, right, and say, yeah, you guys are supposed to provide for these people, their citizens, and everything. They look to us. Oh, why don't y'all do it? We don't have a government. We don't have armies. We don't have the police. And we had the police and the courts and stuff like that, and we were able to give out opportunity and like that. Like they do with their people. Let me tell you how they do. When America was going west, right? America, the Homestead Act gave millions of acres of land to farmers, right? Why? Because they wanted them to go out there, settle, be civilized, and everything like this. They understood that if you bring people out of the West and they have no land, they have no ways of credit and government laws like that, it's going to fall into chaos. And it did happen in many cases in the West, you know, where you had places like Dodge, Kansas, and places like that that were just lawless. You get a lot of lawlessness in the Wild Wild West. How do you get rid of lawlessness? Well, you come there, you stabilize the people, you give them options. Let me give you an example. The state of Missouri, the James Gang, you know, was terrorizing the state of Missouri. Why? Because they had the people's support, because people had hard lives and everything. They were poor and everything. So the criminals became the heroes. Isn't it the same thing in the inner city in America where people feel hopeless? The criminals and the thugs become the hero. The James Gangs were heroes. You know what changed that, right? When people started like that, because they were able to go to town halls, they got stuff built, railways, banks started giving loans and credit. When people's lives started improving, they started looking at the James Gang as outlaws. The propaganda began of cleaning up the West began when the people felt like they had a future and everything. This experiment called Missouri, you know, the Show Me State. When people start seeing that their lives were improving and everything like that, the tide turned. That's how human nature is. The white man knows he has control over what the reward and punishment in Black America. That's how he rewards 50 Cent with so much and whatnot, because he's talking about death and destruction in Black America. Same thing with the rappers and everything. You talk about death and destruction in Black America, talk about gang violence and everything, you're fine. But you start talking about Black power and Black stuff like this, they shut that the heck down. They got rid of all the Black nationalist rhetoric and hip hop and everything like that back in the 90s, right? Everybody to this day is shaking your ass, Cristal, money, clothes, and hoes, all stuff like this. Blunts, broads, and blows, whatever like that, you know? Because a white man, the racists, Jews, and every people are the ones controlling the narrative in Black America. Music and the culture sets the narrative, okay? Black America don't have the control over the narrative. Other people do. People who don't have any allegiance to us. Black people don't have any allegiance to their own race. All they care about, all the allegiance they have is to the almighty dollar, you know? So you cannot compare our situation with any other Black people situation, because they control, Africans control who they listen to, who they like that. Everything, when you see a situation, even Equatorial Guinea, right? For all it's worth, right? The president's corrupt. He was a puppet. He was put there by the oil companies, right? Australian and European oil companies put him in power, right? They drill off his coast, right? And because that coast, Equatorial, is claimed, is recognized by the UN, there's nothing we got to get rid of the UN recognition. So when international boundary recognized this, they brought him out of exile, whatever like that, said you're a king, gave him glory wheels, the king's returning to his kingdom and everything. Flew him in a helicopter, but it was just a prelude to setting up an oligarch where they could suck oil out of Equatorial Guinea. And the West gets better oil from that region right there. They don't have conflict, you know. Kala, in a place in Angola you think would be treated somewhat, or it doesn't belong. As far as I'm concerned, as far as I know, when I talk to Angolans, Angolans that live in America, this is one thing about Angolans. They completely assimilate with Black America. One of my founding members of the BAIO was from Angola, and I didn't even know it. You know, he had a name his name was Antonio, right? And his last name sounded Spanish or Portuguese, whatever like that. You know. And I was like, always wondered, why did he have a name like Antonio? I forgot his last name. It was like Spanish, Pierre, or whatever like that. I forgot what it was. And he was one of the founding members of the BAIO, right? And then one day, I said in a group chat, I said, man, it would be nice if I knew somebody in Angola. He goes, I'm Angolan. I said, really? And he put me on to people in Angola. So I can introduce you to people who know the government. I said, you really? That was back in 2016. And from there, I met my friend Celeste and different government officials in Angola I'm friends with to this day. And they're saying, man, you guys talking about building a city, whatever like that. We didn't know you guys were interested in Angola. Yeah? And I met some other guys, Mr. Vemba and everything. He said, yeah, they live in Philadelphia. And they said, man, you guys don't know what you want. You guys need to get your own land. We got plenty of space in Angola. Angola is like, when you talk to Angolans and everything like that, it's like you're talking to a regular Black American. They understand what you're talking about. Most of the problems you see in Africa comes from West Africa, because West Africa was never colonized or conquered outright, even though West Africa had the fiercest war against thing. And West Africa's thing was they were not really militarily beaten by the Europeans. They just settled and everything. That settlement meant you just stay the way you are. Europeans never tried to settle in West Africa. There's no European settlements in West Africa. So that means the idea of Europeans creating settlements by which Africans are not there. What they did have is administration of people who were educated in the West and sent back to these countries and everything. It's not the same thing as where you really have restricted land over here by whites and everything. And what that happens is the white people did Africans a favor in Southern Africa, right? Because it created a sense of us versus them. You talk to Zambians and everything like that, right? There's only Black Zambians and white Zambians. Same thing with South Africa. There's Black South Africans and white South Africans. There's no whatever. It's like there's a colored line. Europeans, their racism backfired on them in Southern Africa. Now they want to be like, oh, why don't we just basically be all South Africa? No, they started the color line. They started apartheid. They started racism. So therefore, Black people, or they'll say, then also the resentment too is you have these people who are mixed races in Southern Africa, right? Who have their own distinct category. In America, those of us who have mixed ancestry and everything like that, right, consider ourselves Black African, right? In Southern Africa, right, you have the colors, the bastards, and all these other people right here. And so basically, that's right, African by ancestry, American by nationality. Yeah, that's right, African American. My ancestry is African, and my nationality is American, right? So, oh, you're American? Yes, I'm an American by nationality. So I live here in this country. I live under the laws, and you just have to learn to live with that, And a lot of the things I think around the world, I do see I have an outlook of as an American, but it's a conflict there. I'm an African American. That means I can't really be fully an American, because be fully American, that means that you believe in everything Thomas Jefferson said. You believe Pearl Harbor was the right thing to do. You don't see the other side of things and everything. Like me, I'm conflicted, right? When I read stories like the Boxer Rebellion and everything, when I was a kid, right, I was conflicted about the war in the Philippines and everything. I read about Black soldiers abandoned. If we're so Americans, why did so many Black soldiers abandon the American army and join the Philippine army, right? And became Filipinos in the Spanish American War in the Philippines. It was Black soldiers that deserted America that dragged that war out for years. Pan-Africanism has not run its course. And targeted Africa. Who targeted Africa? There are a gathering of God's people and children of Mother Africa coming. Yeah, that's right. You know what I'm saying? I agree with that. What's the meaning of targeting, right? If you feel targeted, I feel sorry for you. Let us know who's targeting you and everything like that. Nobody's targeting you. We're saying that those of us who think like us, those of us who think like someplace else, they're it is what it is, it is what it is.
This is a classic right here.
The issue is Dynasty Mir and Bucci. Yeah, well, we dealt with that, Dynasty, I don't know. Dynasty is a good brother and whatnot. I love Bucci. Brand. The bottom line is this, man. A lot of these guys are young. Dynasty Mir didn't come up in a Pan-African culture, right? He grew up in California, say through O'Shea, Duke Jackson. And he's like a philosophical version. He didn't come up in Black Power movements, right? His parents weren't Black Panthers. His parents weren't he didn't read Dr. Heinrich Clark and stuff like this, and stuff like that. And also when people, I don't know about California, right? A lot of times when people grow up in places, right, you got to understand what they grew up around. California, for Black people, I don't understand why they can't get it together. But Black people who live here on the eastern seaboard of the United States, New York, Virginia, and all the places like this have a culture. You go to the Gullah Geechee area, you go to down south, and you go like that. You see your culture and everything. You see Black people with their family roots and everything. You appreciate your culture. Also, one of the things that people don't understand is like music. You know, what movies you watch. You know, when you get inspired, man, when you watch old Black movies and whatnot. You know, from like the 60s and 70s and everything, and you're related. A lot of times, Black people don't. There's a lot of Black people in America, right, who don't like being Black. They really want to be white, right? They really want to be white. They like white culture. They think white people do everything perfect. They don't see any flaws in white culture and everything. And they make it seem like Black culture, they always take the negative side of Black culture, and they really and not be having some sort of agency over Black America. Like me, where I grew up, right? When we moved from the city to upstate New York in a white community, right? That I made it clear, right? Your family is not superior to my family. I used to take my white friends to the city and show them Black people going to work, church, everything. I said, I'm not moving up. I just came over here. You know, my father's job is up there, so we moved up here, and it just happened to be white. I told him I could have stayed in the city, and I'm around my own people and everything like that. So if you grow up in the projects and stuff like that, you don't know, you haven't had a good family experience. Of course, naturally you're gonna be negative, or your family was broken. You know what I'm saying, stuff like that, and into the gangs, everything. Your experience in Black America is different than I think the majority of us, you know? And so therefore people come into Pan-African as a way of, oh, I got a new culture, which I'm going to basically disown who I am. You don't never kind of disown who you are, you know? And like I said, I don't know what Dynas, whatever like that, his experience was. You know, we never got into the culture, but it just seems that he doesn't have any connection with Black America. He don't have any real connection with Black America. For example, he does voodoo, right? If he really wanted to go to voodoo, I could take him to places in South Carolina, North Carolina, who got high priests in the voodoo culture. You know, it's right here in Black America. We brought it from Africa. If you really went into Black American culture, and like we from Harlem one night, you know all the African culture you search in Africa is right here in America. You know, African Americans are very African. You know, we have a dual identity. We put on our face for America or not, but in our culture, in our churches, everything, even the Black church is based on African culture. The way we pray, shout, everything like that. How many people ever know what watch night is? You know, what's watch night, Kala? You know, watch night is a tradition in Black America. We still do it to this day on New Year's Eve, where we gather at church and homes and everything. We turn the lights out with a candle, right? Eat black-eyed peas and that. So we've been doing that since slavery. You know, sometimes it was to hide against slave patrols during the Underground Railroad, so during Reconstruction, the aiding troops and everything. But it's in African American culture. A lot of Black people in America don't know anything about African American music, culture, and history. So therefore, they basically distance themselves from that, right? And unfortunately, right, those type of people do two things. They go into white culture, or they call themselves Native American. I'm not Black American, I'm Native American. They're disgusted by Black America because of slavery and everything like that. So they look at Black America through the prisms of white America. And so therefore it's easy to say, I'm a Nigerian now, you know, I wipe my slate clean, you know, don't work like that. You know, you are your bloodline. You're African American. You have to stand on that. That's your bloodline, you know? And so therefore, and also there's a lot of people who call themselves Pan-Africanists, right? Who just use this as a pretext to bash Black America, you know, bash Black while they're living in America. I mean, you take a spy camp to half these Pan-Africans, right? You go to them, I bet they think they're with white girls, they're with white parties, or they get online. Yeah, man, Black to the power, with Black power, Black Pan-Africans or not. You know, yeah, man, we need to go to Africa and everything like that. And they pay a lot of money. Their associations and who they date and who they around with are non-Black people. Well, people like myself, right? We love my people. I love my culture and everything like that. I love it to death, right? I want to say I want to be who I am, right? And build in Africa, right? And so therefore the two groups of people could learn from each other, you know, because Black America have a lot to teach Africa. Africans have a lot to teach us, you know. But when you go over there and you're not standing on your square, because Africans will tribe up. When they come to America, where they are, you got little Monrovia in Staten Island. You got little Senegal and everything like that. They're unapologetically tribalist in nature. And they make no mistake about it. We're the only fools that think, oh, I'm just gonna change my whole identity and like that, like fools. And this is why people can easily come into our community and rob us and scam us and stuff like this because they think you're searching for something. With me, they can't do that with, you know. Kyle's not searching for something. Kyle knows who he is. You know, and I know who they are. That's the most important thing. I studied all these African countries and their cultures and everything. I know when people are putting me on and when people are full of shit, you know. And some of the best people I got along with was the Angolans, because the Angolans are really, really real people. You know, they really hate the Portuguese. They hate white supremacy, and they really after 32 years of war, Angolans are very, very radical. Same thing with the Zambians. Black Americans. We put that last one back.
Yeah, made me just about to click it off. All right, let me get him back up there. There we go. And also, let me just let your friend know. This is not the show.
Oh,
You have IC3 at the bottom.
no, don't put them on. I will go off. Don't want to hear what you guys say.
There you go, brother. Unfortunately, the start of the show don't want to hear you tonight. So
I'm not. I'm in a serious mood tonight. I'm not here for any goofiness. You know. Don't want to. I don't want to hear not one word. I don't even want to hear hello. Not tonight, bro.
Want to have cool. Go ahead and continue with the.
Okay, black. The last comment.
Yeah, that was it right here.
Okay,
it was not a Black America
really,
comment.
billfold to the continent. We are merely international investment group. Well, no, actually, the bottom line is this. You know, a lot of Africans sincerely want to see Black America because they like our style. This guy GOJ must be some sort of cornball. You know.
Yeah, I was trying to get him to join you, man, so you can talk. Man, you got a lot of posts.
Yo, hey, look, let me tell you something, man. I will be there in a week. Hopefully, with the grace of God, I'll be there in a week. I just set my payment off. I gotta make sure it goes through. You know, I will be there in another week in Africa. Another week, right? The Africans basically, for the most part, love African Americans. You know, they do. You know, don't worry about what you see on TikTok and these goofballs that basically living on Section 8 and whatnot. You know, in America, people are living in a hovel over in the UK and living under a bridge in Italy or whatever. Like, don't worry about these fools. I say, the average African man, when you see Black people in America, they're just like in awe. They really are. You know, and sometimes people like Nigerians try to compete with us and whatnot, but no matter how much money they have, you know, how much money you have, you cannot compete. When they see Black people you know, when they see Black America, they know our history. You know, that's why I said when people look at us, they realize they see the Harlem Renaissance. They see all the inventors. They see everything that shaped the world. They see all the impact we had on the world stage and everything that no other group of Black people, the most influential group of Black people in the world. Why would you want to distance yourself from that? So we go over there, and Black people in America. Another thing about why people act the way they do is that Black people are completely emasculated in America, right? We're still scared to stand on our square. We're still scared. Those Black people who still to this day scared to say, you know something, Hank Aaron was the best baseball player. Shout out from Hank Aaron was way better than Babe Ruth. You know, Willie Mays way better than what's that guy? Mickey Mantle. We're so scared to say, you know, Dr. J was better than Larry Bird. We're still saying, even though I think Larry Bird was one of the best players that ever played the game, right? I still say Dr. J was better. I still say Magic Johnson was better. I still say LeBron James was better, right? And bottom line is, Black people in America have always been the peacemaker, always trying to basically, no. Sometimes you got to stand on your square and say, look, you know, yeah, Black America, we're the best, you know. We're the best everything. We create everything, you know. Rap music, hip hop that you enjoy so much was created by us. Jazz was created by us. Rock and roll was created by us. Jimi Hendrix was the best guitarist the world ever seen. When black people start acting like that, right, and being proud and covetous and jealous of their culture and everything, you'll start seeing the change. So we come to that attitude, right? Okay, Afrobeats is coming up. We love Afrobeats. This part, I love Afrobeats and everything like that. But still, though, we still think our culture and our music is better until proven otherwise. But and everybody else, people could be doing 1% of what we're doing, and they think they're on our level. So when people, like I said, people in Africa are in awe of Black America. You don't know it. You go to Japan. Do you know? I'm gonna get a quiz for you, brother Bomani. What is Vladimir Putin's favorite music?
Whose favorite music?
Putin.
I have no idea. You talking about the Russian Putin?
Yeah, West Coast hip hop.
For real?
Yeah, he plays it on his piano and whatnot. You know, Snoop Dogg, everything. He can play all that shit. You know.
Yeah, we're entertainers for everybody.
He said no. I don't say Russians. Ever since the day of Paul Robeson, we got to study history, right? Paul Robeson went there and Russians fell in love with Paul Robeson. You know, they were gonna make him an honorary czar and whatnot. They were so in awe of this black man. You know. But he came back. I don't know what happened, right? He came back to America, right? Because he got all these death threats and whatnot. He was a traitor. When he came, I'm an American and everything. They used him, you know, and he disappeared. And he stood on that square right there and said, "Yeah, I'm representing Black America." Russian was like saying, "Man," Putin will say to this day, "The greatest thing about America was Tupac Shakur." That's what Putin says. You know, he said the greatest thing about America, and Russell will say, is Black America. That's what they always say. Black America is the greatest thing that America ever produces. Black America. It was Black America who went to Russia and showed them how to do farming and stuff like that in the early 1900s. So therefore, when you got this great history, right? The famous red tails of the what you call it, and the Harlem Hellfighters who saved France during World War One. And World War they came there and they tore the Germans to pieces and whatnot, you know. Instead of us standing on our square, yeah, I'm proud of the freaking Harlem Hellfighters. Yeah, I didn't agree with the war and white people, but I'm proud of that infantry. There should be a picture of the Harlem Hellfighters in every black person's house. There should be pictures of the Red Tails, those people who saved, who had the most successful bombing protection raids in history, one of the Red Tail Flyers and whatnot. That should be in our history, you know, and proud. So when you're proud of who you are and whatnot, that's how you stand to the world. I am the Red Tails. I am the Harlem Hellfighters, right? I'm all the things, the poets, Langston Hughes, also like that. That's me. That's my culture. That's who I stand on, you know? And therefore, now it's time to talk about Pan-Africanism. This is what I bring to the table. This is my outlook and everything. But a lot of Pan-Africanists that you see on YouTube are broken people. They don't know their culture. They're not proud of their culture. They're dismissive of their heritage and everything. And they go to Africa. They go to Africans and they let Africans, stupid Africans that they got online and whatnot, dusty ass Africans like Mike O and everything like that. We're not supposed to be proud of our culture. You know, we're not supposed to be proud of our accomplishments as a people. We got to share all our accomplishments with everybody else. Oh, it's all black and everything like that. But when it's a problem, oh, it's just us. You know, plus, you know. Look, bottom line is this. I'm proud that the world's first black billionaire came from my heritage, Reginald Lewis. You know, he died at 53 years old. You know, young man, died at 53 years old. Became the world's first black billionaire inside of oppression. You know, like the Bible said, I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. I shall fear no evil, but God prepared the table before me in the presence of my enemy. So in other words, even while we're here, right, in the presence of our enemy, we're still going to succeed. We're still going to rise. No matter where you put us, no matter what they throw at us, we Black America are still going to rise. So my spirit of Pan-Africanism is part of Black America rising. You know, we're going to basically talk about what we're going to do in Africa and everything. We have something to say to the African continent and everything. We've been dealing with Africa for hundreds of years, going back and building. This is nothing new. So the Black man in America, people don't even know there was African American missionaries in the Congo, you know, hundreds of missions in the Congo. Patrice Lumumba was educated by African American missionaries in the Congo. The African, somebody asked me about the African Methodist Episcopal Church last show, right? The African Methodist Episcopal Church has always been the center. I got a thing from this guy, a friend of mine in Liberia, and the African Methodist Episcopal Church is all in Liberia. Founded in here in America, right? Pan-African was born in America, right? That's where it was born out of slavery. It was born out of oppression. It was born out of human degradation, and we formed our own African church where we could practice Christianity our own way. The African Methodist Episcopal Church and the African Missionary Baptist Church is purely an African institution. It's probably the blackest institution we ever created. People say, well, what about the nation? Nation of Islam is not black enough. I'm sorry. The AME church, when you go to an African Methodist Episcopal Church, you're around real black people. That's another thing. People don't even know when they're around real black spirituality. You can see it in the soul. The way that people sing, the gospels and everything, that's black people. I don't know what y'all talking about, right? You got a lot of bougie people getting into the Pan-African movement, right? They go from one bougie setting when they get it. No, you go to a black church and whatnot, right? You want to feel real black culture and whatnot. How our ancestors are slaves, how they sang and everything. The people that you hate so much that you're ashamed of, right? I remember watching the movie. Remember the movie 12 Years a Slave? When Row Jordan Row, that song just picked me up, and that song when that song scene came on and 12 Years a Slave, whatnot, it just brought something because I was resisting the movie, but that movie that song just opened me up right in my soul, Row Jordan Row, my soul riding time, that's what our ancestors were singing. If you don't know the spirituals of your ancestors when they were the great America, how the hell are you going to get up here and talk about you trying to liberate somebody? I am with my ancestors, right? They were singing those gospel hymns and songs and everything, and I'm proud of that. Because out of that, when I came the greatest people the world's ever seen, Black America, the greatest people the world's ever seen. So this is probably Pan-Africa. It's just an extension of that, of this greatness. We're not going to Africa with our head down, kick us in the head and everything. That's why you're taking advantage of the views. Because if you project weakness or not, people are going to perceive you as weak. If you go down there with your head up and say, this is who I am, this is how I fought, this is who we are as a people and everything like that. We're great people. We're not what you see in the rap videos and everything like that. We are great people.
Excellent presentation, brother. Why PK got something to say about that?
Kala, you insist on yours being better than others. Look. Bottom line is this: I have nothing. This is the problem we have. We got to start saying in the Pan-African world, right? I have no problem basically with Africa. I elevate Africans too, right? I love Africans. I like this, right? But it's natural for everybody to think that their culture is the best. You can go to any African village and whatnot. You can't tell some of these African tribalists, right, whose culture never could produce anything. Never gave anything to the world. They think that people are the best. The Yorubas think they're the best thing on the planet. All over Africa, everybody got their tribe and everything like that. They have never produced anything. African Americans have done great things and everything. Why shouldn't we be proud of that? How are you falling into the same exact thing? See, that's another thing. If we talk about our heritage and how we are, in other words, basically, I got to be ashamed of who I am, right? To embrace somebody else, In other words, basically, what I like to do is I want to start embracing with Africans who got high self-esteem. When I met a lot of Angolans, they feel proud of their heritage and everything. Why? Because they beat the Portuguese. They beat the Portuguese. So I talk to them. They don't have that inferiority complex. They embrace people who are successful, embrace other people who are successful, right? There's a thing in the laws of power that says stay away from the unlucky and the unhappy. There's a lot of people, right, that are in the Pan-African world that are miserable. They're miserable. That's why do you think all these people are attacking Paul Kagame? Because they're unhappy that they're creating happiness for themselves. He's doing things. He's getting rid of. He distances himself from the unhappy and the unlucky. Some people are just not lucky. His country was blessed that they were able to reconcile, and they're building a great country, and they're freaking becoming a first world country, right? And there's people that don't like that. and they're jealous for some other reason. So we make up this thing. Oh, he must be part with the Europeans and all stuff like this. Same thing Black America. We gotta say, you know something? We didn't create science and everything. We didn't create the light bulb. We didn't create all these things. We didn't build all these things. Just to basically make some Africans feel better about themselves. That's not Pan-Africanism. I'm not with that fake Pan-Africanism stuff. Yeah, no. It's oh no, that's an Alcoon. You know. So no, but basically, and this is what I'll say. If you basically say anything other than where like that, you guys are like. So I can. You look. It doesn't matter what you call ourselves, right? We're doing. We're nationals. We're nation builders, right? So basically, everybody got their own version of Pan-Africanism. I have my version of Pan-Africanism. You know.
I on the coon though.
That's Alcoon. You know. he can't shake that name, so he's trying to come at
It always got to rhyme or something, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, that guy's sick, man. I mean, well, I don't know what coast he live on, but it's like it's late, man. Don't you have anything better to do than troll us?
Yeah, check this out. Hey, can you play that video? That video I just sent you.
All right, I'll load that video up. Let me hit you one more here. But this is the YPK guy. He just be on it though. He says,
but I do admire Kala Genesis to be proud of achieving Black America. Nothing wrong with that. Why is it making a compromise to talk about how? I'm not saying we're better. I'm saying I prefer. To be perfectly honest with you, right? My whole culture and heritage and everything like that. My people. I prefer. I love all Black people, but I love my culture and heritage more. I love Liberia. I love South Africa. I love Jamaica and everything. But if you say who do you love the most, Black America. Simple as that. I'm a product of Black America. As simple as that. There's nothing wrong with that. We could all get together and everything because that's the way Africans feel. Why is it when African Americans do it when there's something wrong? God, do you think if I go have white people, white dog be so great? See, that's why everybody always. That's a sneak diss, Amaru. That's a sneak diss, man. That was a really good sneak diss. Basically, if it wasn't for the white man, y'all wouldn't have nothing and whatnot. It's not that, bro. When Black Americans talk about great, we call arrogant and other self-hating. Yeah. Unfortunately, that is arrogant. Sometimes you got to put things in perspective. Let me say, see, white people don't have to do that, right? When you step off the plane before they even get here, white people with their propaganda. Every matter of fact, white people don't know the Black people that created the elevator. All the list of for Black people, we should create a list of inventions. We did that last year. Remember, Bomani? We'll talk about Black inventions and everything. We should have did that.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
We should have did that this year. We didn't do that. So basically,
the historic
all
series.
the inventions that you see in America, a lot you use and everything from the lawnmower to the can opener and everything like that people use. Black America created, necessity of the mother invention. We were out there doing in the field, finding different things to make our life easier and everything. And white people want to take credit for everything. Lewis Latimer created the filament that made the light bulb work. The incandescent light bulb was made by a Black man. Refrigeration was built by the Black man, a Black man, The first motor vehicle was built by the Patterson Company, built the first motor vehicle in America, right? Henry Ford stole that idea. So therefore, what I'm saying is this, though. When white people come here, they got good propaganda to make you think that everything you see in America was conceptualized by them, that Black people and nobody else had any impact. So we have to defend ourselves and say, this is who we are. Because white people, at the same time, white people make sure, from the minstrel shows to degrade Black America and the proper culture. So people come over here thinking we're a joke. And let me give you another example. In New York City, right? Back in the days, I used to have these old white European immigrants telling Black people, if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't have made it. Black people, the Greeks, the Italians, the Germans, the Poles, everybody that came to New York they said, hey, if it were not for the Black community, we would have died. It wasn't a white community that was going into the Jewish delicatessens and everything, buying that stuff, making it. Who's this on the line? Why are you interrupting me?
I muted him, brother. Go ahead. He came in, his mic was on. I muted him. Go ahead.
Okay.
Once you finish,
disrespected.
Once you finish, I'll introduce you.
Okay. I'll say. So anyway, the bottom line is this: the Italians, like all the stuff you see, even pickles, right? Jews got rich selling us pickles, everything like that. A lot of our the businesses and everything couldn't function without black couriers and truckers and everything like that. You know, the immigrants in America. You know, and the bottom line, they use the black American infrastructure. What did Harlem for? Harlem was a place where you can get power brokers. That black people had power in City Hall. When these immigrants couldn't even speak English, so they relied on us. They'll tell you that. They'll say, yeah, you know, we stuck next to the black people. Harlem was the center of power in New York. The Italians were there, the Spanish were there, everybody was there trying to, like, because we were situated in New York. You know, gradually branched out into their own things and everything, and merged into white society when they learned how to speak English. You know, but yeah, you know, so but the white people have this propaganda that, oh, everybody came to this America and blah 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 blah. You know, you go to New Orleans, Italians were killed in Sicilian because they gave black people jobs and paid them a decent wage, right? White people say, no, you can't do that. They said, no, these people are men. They work hard. I'm going to give them a deck. No, that's not how we do that. That's not how we treat our niggas here. So we've been at war with these white people since day one in a propaganda war. You know, too many people, black immigrants, buy into the white man's propaganda about black America. You know? Go ahead. Go ahead.
All right, cool. We also have
Godstar. What's up?
We have
Yo, what's up, everybody? What's up, Kala? What's up, Bomani? Can
Not
y'all
me.
hear me okay?
Hold on. Go ahead. I got Star. I was telling the other person to hold on.
No doubt, no doubt. I just have one quick question. First, I want to say what's up to everybody and what's up to the chat. I have one question regarding Liberia. So, my question for you, Kala, is do you think the modern day Liberian government is a true continuation of the Liberian government that the settlers established in 1847? I do know that the modern day Liberian government does not use the 1847 Constitution, and that's pretty much why I want to ask you that question to hear your thoughts on it.
Well,
do you think it's a true continuation?
Like this. A constitution, like I tell people all the time, a constitution needs to be amended. And I don't know if a Liberian constitution has an amendment process. Amendment process means that things over time change, so the constitution is amended. That's what amendment process is, you know. I don't think Liberia, they amended the constitution. They have a new constitution that they drew up in 1986. They kept some of the things from the original constitution, right? Like the Negro clause and stuff like that, right? But what they did was they lengthened the presidential term to 6 years. And the senator and the House of Representatives like a permanent position, 10 years. How you being a representative for 10 years? So basically they made it more corrupt and more unliving, you know. And the thing about Liberia is they figured that, oh yeah, well, we're gonna move on and everything, but they figured now that since they saw the success in Ghana and everything, now everybody wants to be like, oh, we're the original Pan-African country. Like I work with Liberia on the tourism board and stuff like that, Ross, everything, and they want to basically make like Black America the main target for their tourism and investment. You know, that's what they do. So it's not like not have any love or anything like that, but it's necessity. They're like Liberians can't stand to see the fact that they're like this. We have this country where it was the #1 country in Africa, right? So they're starting to embrace that, right? But the one thing that made them relevant was their connection to Black America and the diaspora and the history, the Pan-African history. So Liberia's trying to reclaim the Pan-African history, you know, and they don't know really how to do it, but they think tourism is a good way to start and stuff like that. So although the Constitution, nobody's like, oh yeah, we got to bring the Pan like that. It's still a nationality. I mean, like I said, I don't believe in dual citizenship in Liberia, right? I do believe that as African American diaspora, you can use your U.S. passport and do whatever you want to do. But I don't believe in dual citizenship because that's like too much conflict and divisiveness in dual citizenship, you know, and stuff like that. So but for the most part, if you just want to get involved with Liberia, like me. If I can get what I want out of Liberia and go there to build and connect and everything like that, and invest, whatever, I'm good with that. You know, I know the end game. Bomani and I talk about end game right now has to be a new African American republic and diaspora republic. That's going to come in the future. You know, that's where we have to write a new law
So
Yeah, that's good.
I just want to make sure I understand what the answer that you just provided. So you think that the current modern day Liberian government, even though the constitution has been slightly altered because the preamble isn't in the 1980 constitution, they took out the preamble. But you think that the modern day Liberian government, with the tweaks that they made to the constitution, is a continuation of the historical Liberian
Well,
government
they
that
had
was
to do it.
established in 1847?
No, I don't believe it's that. But Liberia, you cannot change a country's history, right? That's what Liberia was based on, right? They basically the reason why they did that, and because when the Constitution was written, it was basically talking about from a standpoint of somebody who that's their story, the story of the African American, right? That was in the original preamble of the Constitution. So a lot of people in Liberia felt left out, right? This country that governed their lives and everything, they felt left out, like the love of liberty brought us here and stuff like that. Some people have kept that, say, yeah, well, we did come to Liberia from the hinterland. And I'll be honest with you, there's a lot of Liberians that come from other parts of the West Africa. From what I'm hearing now, there's a lot of Ghanaians acting a fool in Liberia and the hinterland right now, and Ivorians acting a fool. So somehow these people talk about Liberia, but they can't get enough of it. When you go to Liberia, there's a lot of people speaking French. There's a lot of people speaking all these different languages. They're not Liberians. Liberians, real Liberians, let's say speak Pele and some other languages in the interior, right? They speak English and fluent English. So we see people speaking foreign language. They usually came from across the border. So therefore, why they come across the border? Because they go across the Ivory Coast. They can't have land and stuff like that, freedom that they have in Liberia. They can't. Sierra Leone don't have the freedom that they have in Liberia. The people in Guinea, my brother a Great African said, man, half his family, man, that was trapped when the war started and whatnot, and Liberia lost that territory. A lot of them end up coming to Liberia because of conditions in French Guinea was so bad. They say, oh man, we out of here. They went to Liberia, So this idea that Liberia is a land of liberty. That's all Liberia you need to know is for Black people, where you come from, it's expanded beyond but just African Americans. That means if you're a Black Brazilian, if you want to go to Liberia, you can experience liberty, Black liberty. You from Jamaica, you can go there. So it's not just African Americans from 200 years ago. Now you got people come from different parts of Africa. Nigerians, man, they love it. They're like, oh man, I've never been in a place like this. You're so free here.
I don't know. It seems like most African critics of Liberia comes from Nigeria.
It's jealousy. What part of that guy? I've been speaking for how long tonight? An hour and a half. It's jealousy.
Well, Kala, I mean, I'm not sure what he's gonna finish saying, but I mean, please let us finish everything all together so we're clear about what he's saying, brother.
But yeah, I got the answer to my question, and I understood it. That was my only question. I don't think I can probably stay on the panel tonight since it's Tuesday. I got work in the morning, but I'm gonna go ahead and drop down now, and I'll be in the chat listening.
All right, brother.
Absolutely. Let's you want to do the hate roll call?
Oh, the hate caller roll call.
Yeah, I mean, you got nothing but hate mail all on the chat.
Yeah, go ahead.
You must be popular today, man.
Yeah, I got on Twitter. Somebody called me today and said, Kyle, you got to get on this Twitter debate and whatnot. Okay. I'm in the middle of business and working. I'm a businessman, folks. So I don't have time for a lot of stuff. So people call me in the daytime. The only person I talk to in the daytime really is Bomani. The only person I talk to in the daytime. Everybody else, they know you don't call me after, you call me after 5 o'clock, Well,
let me play my favorite hate chat. Family, this is the hate chat roll call, Bomani and Kala. All of that, we're just gonna play all of the haters. We're just gonna send a post. So this one said, "Why does the Jamaican fella keep acting as if he is Black American?
He is Black
American. Worry about his people.
He is Black.
That's always a good one. That's always a good one. You tell people, hey, I don't sit around and categorize myself, but we do have business, and we are talking about business, and the work that we do, it's for our global African diaspora.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
People, more so this anywhere around the world, and I'm here to speak clearly as much of us as we can. But I appreciate you, man. How about you send me a super chat and then try to come stronger. But yeah, how about you? Come join us. This is what we have right here. We're looking to connect you right there, Liberia, right there.
And what gets me is this, right? When I say Black America, right? Do you understand that a lot of the culture you see in Black America came from the Caribbean and stuff like that? You know, we were all. This is before Black America was anybody black that came to America was considered Black America. Madam Stephanie St. Clair, the Mother Queen of Harlem. Where was she from? She was in the Caribbean, but she was the Queen of Harlem, right? You know what I'm saying? When you look at the African American history book, she's in there. You know, African American, right? Why? She was born in the Caribbean. Because this idea that Black African American is defined strictly by people from now back in the days, Black people, Black culture was Black culture. We all assimilated together. You know, but the argument is that some people coming here from other countries never assimilated with Black America. That I could see. But for the most part, Bomani has completely assimilated with Black culture in America, right? He's black in the black, and
I'm
Black
an
culture
international.
Black culture is
I'm an international brother, you know what I'm saying? Not a passport brother, but an international brother. So I look at the global Black world as as a place where I'm gonna build my business empire. And yes, we're gonna do many business between the west coast of Africa or West Africa and Caribbean islands and America. You can put that in a triangle if you want. You know what I'm saying? But that's what we're looking to do, connect as a family. So this is what we do in family.
You never hear Europeans
It's
talk
right there,
about.
family.
Now, let me give you some. For what I hear, it was a Frenchman who built the George Washington Bridge, right? It was a French engineer who built the George Washington Bridge. Do they emphasize that? Oh, Frenchman, I'm gonna drive on there. French built the George Washington Bridge. They know, that European, Christopher Columbus was from Genoa, Italy, right? But he sailed for the Queen of Spain, to the New World, right? Only the black man, the black race is still backwards and whatnot. They can't understand that, look, the best among us got to get together and whatnot and stop all this, and look at the bigger picture. We don't look at the bigger picture. There's a lot of, there's a large Chinese American enclave in Beijing, who are doing things. They're still doing their culture.
I mean, some of these people never left the block, brother. They don't know much about anything, and some of them are mentally and functionally illiterate. Like, look at this person, right? You can tell that he dropped out of, when he dropped out of third grade.
Yeah. Islands are not our people. They invaded our world.
I don't know what is an islander?
Yo, man. It's just
if I come from the Philippines, I'm an islander.
Yeah.
What about Japan?
Yeah, this is why they hate Pan-Africanism. They know a lot about Pan-Africanist brothers that come from the islands and stuff like that as a way of discrediting them. Oh, they're from the island. I don't listen to them or not,
I'm telling you, man, some of these people have like literally like no education. It's like, what hurts me is that what hurts me is that some of these people, you have people who be dying to get some decent education in the world, and it's like you're here in the prime energy to study and become great, and then you literally just waste your time, and then you let the people you call islanders come and outdo you. James, you got to come stronger, brother.
He's probably got a minimum wage job somewhere, living in a hovel, living in a freaking hovel.
Yeah, he's probably upset that he's that the only job he can get is a janitor somewhere.
He's not making any
somewhere at some dirty Chinese restaurant.
Yeah, he's not doing anything with his life. That's why he's angry.
I'm sorry, James. We apologize that you're a failure. Let's go to the next hate roll call. But that's always funny though, man. I tell people I've been dealing with all these crazy people for a long time.
What did I tell you? Deadly clown, man.
But when you're trying to find the best of our people around the world, you deal with crazy folks. Just like I talk about some of the crazy folks in one of my favorite places, Ghana. And I tell people somehow I managed to make it through, and we make it work, because the goal of it is to find the best people to work with. Once you find out that some people are trash, you get rid of the trash and you go recruiting some new people. That's why in this business you're always recruiting, because but nevertheless, man, let me look through my favorite.
And then we got to play that video.
Definitely play that video. Fam, let's give you a good laugh and things right here. This comes from, here we go right here. These people are funny. Not me, it was just on a little while ago. I was trying to tell him to hold on, but I didn't know if you wanted to hear.
Yeah, I'll talk to him. But what does he got to say?
The line is open whenever you're ready. Come on. This is the.
Oh Lord.
That's one of a few. That's the warm up right there. It gets better.
Well, right now the BAIO, right, until further notice, is a dictatorship. You know, I'm the benevolent dictator. You know, and everybody takes orders from me. You know, that's the way it is, especially in the age of social media. You know, it's not democratic. I don't believe in democracy, man. You know, you can stick democracy in the refrigerator, freezer, and freeze it. You know, I'm a dictator. You know, Bomani's a dictator. I'm a dictator. You know.
Yes, family. Tonight we're live, and let me play one more right here. This is the favorite. This is the classic one right here.
Oh, vote in the new leadership of the BAL. Yeah, good luck trying that, bro. Bro, IC3. What is it? What is it? Telethon or something like that? You know, vote your next day. This guy, IC3, Chocolate Captain Crunch, man. This guy's a scream, you know. It's a Chocolate Captain Crunch and whatnot, you know. I'm like, goddamn, man. And what is that background he has, you know?
I think it's a prison wall.
I don't know, Pan-African Alliance, but you know, that's what I'm talking about tonight. I bet you any amount of money. A lot of these Pan-Africans, like I talk about tonight, they're basically, I'm looking at some of these so-called Pan-Africans based in Africa, right? They're all a bunch of tribalists, right? All they can't, let me tell you how the Pan-Africans work in Africa, right? They have a coup, they're celebrating, right? A year later, they have another coup, they're celebrating, right? They'll be waving red, black, and green, black power and everything like that, and they still get it. Pan-African ultimately has to mean civilization and building.
Yes, definitely.
Stuff, you know? And Pan-African is what? Toward nation building, right? Not Pan-African towards fucking everything up and acting a fool and whatnot, looting and killing and everything. That's not Pan-Africanism, right? The BAO is about building, Pan-Africanism towards building infrastructure, building institutions. That's what we're about. Now, if people want to build institutions, hey, you're welcome to BAO. But if you want to talk a bunch of nonsense and everything, go someplace else. Because I've heard it all. You know, I don't want to hear nothing. I'm looking for people. I got scientists and everybody to be. I need more scientists. I need more people with high IQs. I don't need no IC3s. You know, I need high IQ people with connections and money and everything. That's why I'm being strong. You know, I have to be strong because if I let the wrong type of people in this movement and everything like that, it'll sink. You know. All Jamaican guys do is insult. The Jamaican guys is it. Yeah, I'm a colonizer. Yeah, call me Kala the colonizer. Yo, I'm gonna put that on my screen, nigga. Kala the colonizer. Yeah, I'm a colonizer, man. I'm colonizer, man. And you know it's called Kala put his foot up your ass. You know.
There you go, right here. And let me get the video.
I enjoy having died. Yeah, no, like living in African, living in other. There's not. There's you're talking about brother. What's his name? Last name that was on. What's his name? I forgot. Godson, whatever. There's a lot. Look, let me tell you something, right? A lot of Liberians live in America. Why did they come to America? Because of Black America. They assimilate with Black America. You can't tell a Liberian from a Black African American. They know our music, culture, and everything like that. You know, and this now they got rappers, Liberian rappers popping up and whatnot. You know, I love Liberians so much. You know, they're like our cousins. They're like our first cousins. You know, and so they live around the world and whatnot. Good people. Liberians, for the most part, are really good people. You know, you never see Liberians talking smack about Black America like you do other groups like Nigerians and stuff like that. You never see Black Liberians talking about us and whatnot. You know,
true story, brother. True story.
They love. Look at Sister Kula. You know, Sister Kula. You know. Love Black people, you know, love Black America, whatnot, you know, love Black people too much, if you ask me, you know, because you know me, I'm hard on my people, you know, oh no, you know, even great African man, he said, nah, Kala, you can't be so hard on your own people. Now, as much as I love African Americans, right, in private conversation, I have a lot of criticism of Black America, you know, but my face is I'm defending my people in public, you know, but behind the scenes, I do say something. Bomani knows, you know. I'll be the first to tell you how dusty our people could be in here in America or not, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot
of times I think people don't understand the issue is we're talking about our connection and we're talking about us making moves in Africa and the things that are happening. So and then we're judging those things. And it's like, you're not saying that these things don't happen nowhere else. We're just saying these are, and then people take it personal. That's why sometimes you don't know what to do, man. But it's always somebody that's taking things personal. As far as we're here to analyze, family. This is the Afrikstan Analysis, family, analyzing the future of what we need to build, which is this
a nation,
an
an Afrikstan, a homeland. There's no Afrikstan.
Pan-Africanism moving towards nationhood. There you go, family, building.
Let me give a quick breath of what Afrikstan is. And Afrikstan will be that one powerful state. It ain't gonna have no. It's not gonna be a member of the UN. It's not gonna be a member of the World Health Organization. All these Bretton Woods institutions that were created by white people who don't look like us, right? And Bretton Woods, New Hampshire, the World Trade Organization, the World Economic Forum, and all this stuff like that keeps black people poor, and that the IMF, the World Bank, and all this kind of stuff like that. We're getting rid of all that, and create a new geopolitical order. In order for us to do that, we have to build that one state, that's a capital of the black world. That's what we might ever. Ethnicity doesn't matter. I love Liberia and all those people. I love Liberians. So you'll when you go to Liberia, when you drive up river Liberia, right, in the place like Clay Ashland, Carriesburg, and everything, you would think you're in the rural South. You really think you're in the rural South. Now we go to Douala, right? But even though they cleaned up Douala right now, they built a market. They got to clean up, right? So hopefully, when I go to Cape Mount this time, I can just go a straight shot, right? But when you go to Douala, when I went to Douala, I was there for like a week, right? When we drove to Douala by Freeport, I was like, I'm in Africa. That's when you felt like you were in Africa. That's the African market. You're like, damn, you're in Africa. The pulsating beat of the drum. They were playing rock. They were playing gospel. They'll play all stuff like that. They were talking to the traveler. They were doing all them. There were so many people on megaphones doing trading and stuff like that. People selling their fish and wares, everything like that. So many people so choked with traffic and everything. I'm like, God damn, I'm in Africa right now. That was like an out of my experience.
In the motherland.
I'm like, damn, man. When I went there, so when I was in Monrovia for like a week, I was like, oh, this is cool. Yeah. When we went up to up country past Hotel Africa, I'm like, yo, this is that. Then we got through Douala, right? It's like I'm going back to Georgia. I'm going across the St. Paul River. I felt like I was in South Carolina or Georgia. I said, wow, I just went through Africa to get to South Carolina. So it changes again, of the houses and everything like that. It's like, oh man, looks like black people's homes in the rural South,
There you go.
It's like
that's a good connection, man.
A great combination of both African and African American, Caribbean, and all that stuff connection. You'll see Caribbean influence, you'll see African American influence, you'll see all kinds of Brazilian influence. You'll see everything in Liberia.
That's good because a lot of some people who may never want to go to Africa, this would be a good way to get them into Africa. And some people,
so it's Africa for beginners. Let's say some of the Pan-African kind of think that those Arabs and Tutsis are that whooping ass are just African thing. Yeah, that's what I said. There's a lot of Africans who don't have a sense of race. They think because Tunisia and the African continent, that means Africa. No, Africa means black Africans. I had to tell somebody today, oh, Tunisia is Africa. But if you look at the history of Tunisia, that was part of the Roman Empire, The Arabs, the Moors, the Persians, the Phoenicians, all those people, that's not a black African civilization. That's a white Euro, Berber, and all these other people, Phoenicians and all these other people, Arabs and everybody, Moors and everything. That's what Tunisia is. And blacks are always at the bottom of that civilization. So you think you're just going to bum rush this thing. Those people don't want you. You're not, just like Morocco. I'm going to Morocco. No. Now, Egypt is a little more black because you got the Nubians in the south, and stuff like that. So you got a lot of people who are Afrocentric in Egypt. It's a little different. But for the most part, man, you got to watch it when you go to these white Arab countries. Africans think they just go and everything. They start going there, start trying to date their women and everything. Arabs will friggin' castrate you messing with their women. The best thing Africa to do is build their own countries. Stop fleeing to everybody's country. Claiming it. You got the Afro dumbass talking the other day, talking about we're gonna take over America. America's for immigrants. Man, America.
Afro dumbass.
Afro dumbass. It's about America's land of immigrants, built for immigrants. America was not built by immigrants. The white immigrants didn't get here to the 1890s. America was already established and built. Coast to coast, sea to shining sea. The white immigrants that came over here when that relied on black people infrastructure to survive. This is glowing terms that immigrants got on the boat and America sprung up overnight.
Yeah, that's a lie.
That's a lie. It's a lie.
That's what these niggerpeans gonna do, man. But yeah, man, that's one of your character, man. Last hate chat. So family, this is the quick sequence. This is the last one right here, and then we're gonna start blocking all of the haters.
Oh, let him talk. Let him talk. Let him talk. Let him talk in the chat.
There you go, right there. This is a stream. It looked like this person was this like a mummy.
Oh yeah, it's probably a white guy. African Americans are too violent. You know, you know something. I agree. You know, we're exactly what Africa needs. You know, people need to see large numbers of African Americans, and the white people and the people watch them move, them crumble. You know, Liberians know what they're doing. Angolans know what they're doing. The Angolans tell me they would love for us to deal with the arrogant Portuguese. You know, because they know we're more arrogant than the Portuguese. Why do you think South Africans love us so much? Because they come over there, we come over to South Africa right now with our bougie ways and everything like that. The white people are like, who are these people? And black people love it, you know. We got people that can compete with the whites. It was like that when Henry McNeil Turner, Bishop Henry, went to South Africa, right? And basically establish a community there. The Zulus like, wow, man, look at these people, man, walking around with their nice suits. And these are black people look like us and whatnot, you know? And that's how you got the Soweto Gospel Choir and all that stuff like that, because of the black community that was built, that was in South Africa in the 1800s, you know? And the end goal of the BAIO is separate diaspora nation. Why focus on not, you know, this? Well, Caribbean countries are part of, there's a thing called the Monroe Doctrine, right? Let me school you what that is. If you don't know what the Monroe Doctrine is, right? It means the United States got a big stick policy, Teddy Roosevelt, that the United States in this hemisphere, America can unilaterally act. If you think America meddling in Africa is bad, the people of Central America and South America don't have a prayer. America right now has crippled every country in the hemisphere right here in poverty. Every country in the Western Hemisphere, except for Bermuda, you know, is in poverty. In poverty, because that's really outside the Monroe Doctrine. Bermuda is more into the Atlantic Ocean. The rest of the Caribbean, everything, these should be thriving countries right now, right? But they're still in poverty. Why? Because the United States controls everything. The United States is an adolescent racist bully, right? Who bullied Cuba into poverty, you know? And bullied Mexico to the point where the gangs, the cartel gangs you see right now, they're all created by the United States. The United States will give weapons to anybody that do their bidding and everything. You know, that's why we can never let the United States have a foothold in Africa. We can never let that happen. Because why? Because the worst people will come to power. That's what happened with Samuel Doe. That's what happened when Mobutu came to power. That's what happened when Thomas Sankara was killed, Amilcar Cabral. Anytime the United States gets involved in politics, the worst people come out. And that's what you see when they got rid of Maurice Bishop in Grenada, and when the United States invaded Grenada in 1983. So if you tell me the only place you're safe to build an Afrikstan is on the African continent, far away from the white man's reach, you know, and so in a host country, you know, it doesn't have to be necessarily independent. It could be a semi-autonomous state like Dubai, you know, but so long as we control what goes on in the country and everything like that in its own place, that's good. You know, we can use the existing country thing. We don't have to be an independent nation state, whatnot. You know, who wants that headache? You know, you can play it both ways. When we don't want to deal with nobody, we say, hey, you got to check with the host country. When we want to deal with somebody, we just do it anyway. You know, so that gives us cover. Trust me, we well thought about the BAO people. We well thought about this for years. You know, we don't need an independent nation state. You know, we want to be part of a confederate. Does that sound right, Bomani? A confederation, you know, a federation of states with all seal and flag and everything.
That's the deal, brother. That's
all
the
we need
deal.
to be part of a federation, you know, a union, a federation, you know, and stuff like that. Then we can have our own diplomatic things, our own diplomatic missions and everything like that around the world, you know, through that embassy. You know, okay, so I hope that answers the question, you know. People, we're going to build an independent nation. No, we just want a federation. And we're going to accomplish that in Ghana, you watch. And we're also going to accomplish that in Liberia, Angola, and every other country that we build in. You know, so we're on our way to that anyway, you know. So, hey, you want to play it, brother?
Yes, brother. Go ahead and introduce a video, and I will play it right here.
This is Vice, basically. It's basically using the Congo, right, to about rebellion. Basically, what this Vice says is a left-wing conspiracy against Paul Kagame, because he didn't follow that Marxist, communist nonsense and everything. So he's basically winning in Rwanda. So we have to, since they can't say nothing about Rwanda, and Burundi. So let's blame him for what's going on in the Congo. No evidence whatsoever. And we got dumbass so-called Pan-Africans, which are going to come in the chat room. Yeah, Mugabe's an evil man, because they listen to this stupid brainwash. Back in the days, real Pan-Africans didn't listen to what the Western media have to say. In fact, back in the days, when people, when the white media came after Idi Amin, you had African Americans who went over there and interviewed him themselves and got it firsthand. What do you think, President Idi Amin? What's going on? He gave his side of the story. We didn't take things like the Vice and everything. There's still white media. There's still white media, and stuff like this. We didn't have people like Bill Gates telling us who to like in Africa. We didn't have people like Mark Zuckerberg and all these other people, these goofballs. That powerful media platforms. Oh, he's cool, you know. Kala, you say Black Americans are rich Americans. You play with Africa. Yes, they are. Foreign exchange. No. Actually, African Americans have a lot of money, bro. $1.6 trillion. That's more than like twice the size of the African continent. That's just net. That's not including what actually goes into your bank for mortgage, everything. That's just spending power, you know. That's just what we earn for spending power. That's a lot of money, you know. So bottom line is this: it's not foreign exchange. African currencies are useless, man. You know, if Africa created one currency, they would get somewhere, you know. But Africa has too much debt. And Black America have no debt. We have no debt to anybody, you know. We have no debt. And also, Black America's money is not tied up in investments and everything. This bank that just collapsed in Silicon Valley, right? Black America didn't have any investments in it. We're traditional savings accounts and just whatever like that. We don't have any major investments in these things like that. So we weren't affected by this collapse. So therefore, you have a lot of Black people who have a lot of money to spend, right? We're spending it in the white economy. If Africans were smart, right, and they have their stuff together, they could be getting some of that money and from Black America, you know. Look at Jamaicans got rich in America just by opening up Jamaican beef patty and Jamaican oxtails in America, right? They knew who they target market was. Black America. We like Jamaican food. We got rich. Chinese people get rich. What? Open up Chinese takeout in Black areas and whatever, middle class areas, you know. Walmart got rich. Why? Because they knew Black people like cheap shit from overseas. You know, only the Africans haven't figured out that Black America is a big cash cow. The Jews know it. Like that Donald Sterling. What was that? Donald Sterling said, Black people liquid money. You know. So instead of Africans complaining, get over here and get in on this stuff. You know, give us something that we can use. You know, what do Africans got to give us? You know. I don't know. Do you have a jollof rice and baked chicken a spot that I can go to? You know. Take out, you know, I'd love to get a jollof rice and some grilled chicken, you know, some hard grilled chicken, you know. Yeah, we want political autonomy, not sovereignty. You understand what sovereignty means and autonomy? They're two different things. You know, political autonomy. You know, that's everything. Why, Bomani? Once Jagazi is up and running and everything like that, do you want somebody from Tema telling you what to do, or do you guys want to make the decisions of yourself in Jagazi?
It's absolutely. You want to be as independent as possible. You know what I mean?
What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? Yes,
and we want to be
autonomous. You know,
you're trying to build. You know, you're trying to build a level of success. So you know, you're gonna have to you have to build a focused operation. You can't be, you know. Those things don't work like that. We have to be able to define our destiny. But
right, we have to define who we are and say what we are, our limits and everything. They don't understand that. You know, we have to have some sort of agency. 500 years with no agency. You know, say this is who we are. This is what we want. This is how it is. You know, simple as that. You know, no more of this Pan-African. We're just flying on the hand, just doing every goofy thing, following behind every goofball that comes along. You know, no offense to anybody listening. You know.
Yes, so let's play this thing here.
Yeah.
And how much of it you want to play?
Oh, play the whole thing.
That's a long time.
But trust me, it's worth it. You gotta get to the point because you know this right toward the end I was like burning up, and it's like some key points. So yeah, I'll sit back and be quiet.
People in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo have endured 25 years of war. The conflict here is the deadliest global conflict since World War II, with over 6 million people killed. Now they're facing down another rebellion.
So this is a national military recruitment site. In the last couple of weeks, the president called for everybody to arm themselves or to join the army in order to fight against the M23 rebels. The general said that over 1,000 people are showing up every day here to join the fight.
Ice go! Ice, ice! Ice go!
After decades of violence and an explosion of rebel groups looking to exploit its mineral resources, the country is frantically mobilizing against the M23 rebels, militants from the minority Tutsi ethnic group who last took the regional capital Goma in 2012. Fighting between the army and M23 has displaced over 500,000 Congolese people in just a few months. The National Army, along with the 15,000-strong UN peacekeeping force, haven't been able to stop the rebels from taking critical territory. Determined to stop Goma from falling to the rebels again, men and women across the East are joining the fight. Esperance Batende left her 2 children at home and traveled over 60 miles on foot to enlist.
Nasirika.
Monzo.com makes Gans great again. Yeah, you know what? I'm not going to.
Mimi naacha mashamba, mimi naacha watoto, mimi naacha kila kitu wazazi. Nakuya hapa juu ya kuenda kazi ya kujua gizi binaweza pigana na maadui yetu. Kila wote unakutana familia fulani kwa alia M23 aliwaka babaki. Yatima fulani anabakia na hana baba. Ibaki watu wa mingi yuko wanalia tu mjina M23. Sie bote tuko tunalia mfamilia ile jina ya M23.
Esperance knows Congo's cyclical violence well. Her father and husband were both killed fighting in the army during the last M23 rebellion.
Isa yenyewe ba M23 waliingiaka sasa kuposition kwa balikuwaka atake ya kwanza hapo ndio walikuwaka wa premier Kadavi.
Did you feel like they died heroes?
Yeah, walikuwa watu mashujaa alikufia nchi yao. Sagizi na mimi naweza enda ninapigania tu nchi vile ninafia nchi.
And who do you think is responsible specifically for this conflict?
Ni wajirani yetu Rwanda. Ni Rwanda.
But the rebels are Congolese, right? They've been fighting here before.
Hapana, haiko Bakongomani. Ni Banyarwanda ba Rwanda. Mali yetu tuko nayo ndio biko wanatupiganisha juu yao, wanapenda watu bagabule nchi yetu mara pili.
Congo's neighbors, Rwanda and Uganda, have fueled instability here for decades, backing proxy militias in order to illegally extract minerals like coltan and gold. Rwanda is the world's 3rd largest coltan exporter, even though Rwanda has no industrial coltan mines. Rwanda denies meddling in Congo, but its support of M23 was confirmed by a leaked UN report with photos of Rwandan troops crossing into Congo and M23 fighters with Rwandan army uniforms and weapons. These links mean the conflict risks spiraling into a regional war that plays out along ethnic lines. M23 was formed by ethnic Tutsis, the group targeted in Rwanda's 1994 genocide and the ethnicity of Rwanda's president. Rwanda now claims that Congolese Tutsis are being harassed and killed.
Bomani, pause it right there. Pause it right there. Pause it right there.
Where rebel groups form along ethnic loyalty, the president's latest move could make things worse.
Bomani.
La guerre qui nous est imposée par nos voisins exige de chacun.
Hey, go ahead, Kala.
Pause it right there, right? Now, notice what she said earlier. She said the M23 rebels were made up of ethnic Tutsis, right? Now she says when they go to show the rebels, right, they're clearly not Tutsis, right? She said this was formed by Uganda, everything like that, and formed by Rwanda, like Tutsis. So in other words, she's blaming Rwanda for forming M23 rebels, right? Before she said these were Rwandans, right? Rebels of the border. If she knows anything, Rwandan rebels are Tutsis and Hutus are trying to overthrow Rwanda right now. But basically, she just linked Paul Kagame, right, with rebel factions, right, to these M23 rebels. So she's going back and forth. But people, people don't. All you heard is Paul Kagame, Museveni, and everything. They're meddling in the pen. No, it's actually the Europeans who are supplying the weapons. And she says Rwanda is the #1 exporter of coltan. They're not exporting coltan. They're processing coltan and making computer chips and competing in the world. Rwanda basically is going to say, if the same pattern continues, Rwanda will basically control all the resources in the Congo, and everything that's made in the Congo will have to be made in Rwanda. Rwanda is processing coltan into things like microchips and stuff like that, But she's saying Rwanda doesn't have any exporting. Rwanda is a landlocked country. How are they exporting coltan out of Rwanda? Wouldn't even make any freaking sense. So what I'm saying is this. This is what I'm trying to talk about. These people that come around, and you got a lot of so-called Pan-Africanists, right? Who basically look at this like, yeah, man, I told you. I told you Paul Kagame wasn't this like that. So in other words, basically, you would like to see a coup in Rwanda. It go back to hell, and everybody dying and destitute and everything. That would make you happy again, Mr. Fake-ass Pan-Africanist? Instead of saying, I don't know what's going on, right? I know I'm just emotional, a wreck, and I'm a freaking dumbass, illiterate, ignorant. Let me go listen to the Kala Genesis for some substance and some guidance. Maybe he can guide me through this. Because I know I'm black and I'm weak and I'm a black male and I'm emotional. Most black men act like freaking women. They're emotional and everything like that. They can't get anything together. They got like this. Is that all conflict, DR conflict started by, yeah. And it's all about the West, It's all about the friggin' West. Everything you see in the Congo is the West. They've been looting there for almost going on 150 years. They've been looting that place, So all these countries that basically got rebels of their own, like Uganda, the Lord's Resistance movement, right? And all these other people like that are in the Congo. These guys don't have any political ideology. All they want to do is burn, loot, rape, and kill and get things. But notice how she didn't talk about the scandal involving UN so-called peacekeepers who were exporting plane loads of minerals by plane. Do you know there's landing strips in the Congo where people are taking minerals out by plane and everything like that? They just uproot landing strips and everything in the jungle all over the Congo, right? And people doing their own thing. As long as you pay the local governor or whoever, a warlord, you could loot the Congo. Is that Paul Kagame's thing? How come no one's talking about that? Why? Because it's Western companies and everybody that could be implicated. But so anyway, this is all this smear campaign to blame one little thing happening, not on the Tutsi rebels who are connected internationally. The rebels, the Tutsi rebels, and everything like that that's doing this stuff like that are getting money from Russia, are getting money from Canada and the black market and every kind of thing, and they're doing that. But yet Rwanda, with a little budget, how does it got the money to give all these weapons and everything to stuff like this? So what I'm saying is this lady right here is full of shit, That's why I don't care about Vice Media and whatnot, They started off good like 12 years ago, but now I tell you, they're a hit piece and everything like that. We have to debunk these freaking leftist idiots because they know if this came from the Fox News, you wouldn't believe it. But when it comes from someplace like Vice or something like that, or this other stuff like that, you will believe it, Yeah, I just hope we're fighting in vain because that you want to play some more of the video. We won't have to play that much more. Mine. Just want to play a couple more minutes. I think my point was made. Just a couple of minutes.
De nous des sacrifices. À cet effet, la mise en place de centres de recrutement à travers les 26 provinces que compte notre pays.
The eastern region of North Kivu has borne the brunt of rebel groups vying to control mineral wealth. It's been under an official state of siege for almost 2 years and is now on the front line of M23's fight.
Want a lawn that looks like this, but your lawn looks a little bit more like this.
We're on the way to meet up with one of these vigilante groups that's fighting against M23. They're former rebels now recruiting again to join this fight. It's been really complicated to negotiate a way to actually get to them because M23 is advancing. And this is an area that's kind of littered with rebel groups, with bandits, and with a military presence. So we've had to negotiate with a bunch of the different groups in order to try and guarantee safe passage.
When we arrived, we drove straight into crowds gathered to celebrate the arrival of the rebels. Self-proclaimed Lieutenant General Janvier Carreri leads the Alliance of Patriots for a Free and Sovereign Congo, or APCLS rebels, and fought the M23 in 2012. The general is welcomed here by people living just a few miles from advancing M23 soldiers.
Tuwahayarishe wale wavamizi wa nchi yetu ya Kongo. Tuko tayari, hakuna hata metri moja ambayo itatoka juu ya udongo wetu tukiwa hai. Mungu awabariki sana kwa mapokezi ambayo mmetupokea.
He's here to recruit and train both civilians and rebels fighting with other groups.
So how close is M23 to us right now? How close is the threat?
Bamekuwa karibu, inaweza kuwa kilometri 15 mpaka 13.
Do you feel ready to, with these new recruits, to be in battle with them in the next few days?
Ndiyo, tuko tayari na tutaingia kule ambako walitokea.
And I see you're fighting alongside and for the same cause as the national military. Why is that after you've been on the other side in the past?
Tumependa nchi yetu isivamiwe. Ile ndio inaacha tunaweza tukachangana na guvernema, lakini nao wakishikamata mubaya nao tunaweza wapiga kama wanasaidiana wale waasi.
Many people are accusing M23 of being funded by Rwanda, maybe even Uganda. Can you tell me where you get your funding?
Sisi hatusaidiwe na mtu fulani wala nchi fulani, ni sisi pekee.
So how are you managing to pay for all of these guys, weapons, comms, equipment? You have no one, even local support?
Sisi ni wapatrioti. Hatuwezi kutumika juu ya pesa. Tunatumika tu ni upendo ya nchi yetu. Nchi yetu ina mali mingi. Sawa vile nchi za kigeni zinakuya kuiba mali yetu.
Have you given any thought to what's going to happen after you defeat M23? What will happen to all of these different factions of rebel groups and army?
Tutakuwa tayari kutumikia sasa Kongo yetu. Sababu tumetafuta amani.
Even with these new rebel coalitions, the town fell to M23 just a few weeks later. As the army and rebel groups scramble for new recruits, M23 has vowed to continue their offensive to push the government into negotiating with them. They claim they're protecting the Tutsi minority in eastern Congo and accuse the government of not honoring their previous peace agreement. After months of resisting media coverage, raising suspicions that they're hiding Rwandan soldiers in their ranks, our contacts with the group gave us 24 hours notice to meet them at their military headquarters. To reach their territory, we had to leave Congo. The group then facilitated our entry through Rwanda and Uganda.
So we're just crossing into Congo from Uganda, and it's at a border post that's been closed for the last year because of the conflict here. This is the first town that M23 took when they were going back into Congo. When we got here, at first they weren't going to let us cross. They wouldn't let us take the car, but it seems like they're letting us cross now.
In the face of mounting evidence that M23 is massacring civilians, the group's leaders finally agreed to talk to the press.
La prise par nos troupes de Kishiche a été donc un coup dur. C'était donc un affront que l'ennemi aurait sans doute voulu lever à n'importe quel prix.
At a press conference to defend themselves against allegations by the UN about civilian deaths, the group's political leader, Bertrand Bisimwa, also insisted Congo's Tutsi population are facing a genocide.
Les actes de génocide qui sont présentement en cours dans l'Est de la RDC, cette situation est partie des messages de haine ethnique et de xénophobie qui avaient été lancés par des autorités et leaders d'opinion de la RDC. Et les personnes qui sont ciblées et pourchassées, ils le sont à la suite de leur appartenance ethnique et de leur faciès.
So I understand that you've said the Congolese government are the ones who started the war. Today at your press conference, you also denied any responsibility for these massacres that the UN said killed at least 170 people. Are you at any point going to take some responsibility for the impact of the war here?
D'abord, je dois vous dire et certifier qu'il n'y a pas eu de massacre à Kishiche. La conférence de presse que nous avons faite, c'était pour établir la vérité.
You have used the word genocide a lot. That's a very inflammatory word to use here, sitting on the border of Rwanda and Congo. And there's no evidence yet that the discrimination against the Tutsi Congolese population is anywhere close to a genocide at the current moment.
Alors, devrons-nous attendre qu'on extermine tout le monde pour qu'on parle d'un génocide? On a vu à Kinshasa des Congolais d'autres communautés marcher dans les rues de Kinshasa avec des machettes à la recherche des rwandophones. Ce n'est pas qu'on attend que le génocide, que l'extermination s'est faite pour parler de génocide. Lorsque nous parlons, nous défendons ces gens-là, tout le monde nous traite de Tutsis, n'est-ce pas?
Do you categorically deny, like the other leaders of M23, that you have any backing, financial or logistical, from Rwanda or Uganda?
Si nous avions un soutien du Rwanda et de l'Ouganda, vous pensiez que je serais ici? Je vous dis, je serais à Kinshasa.
But you could have the support of Rwanda and Uganda without having the full support of their armies. There's UN group of experts reports, eyewitness accounts of Rwandan forces on the ground, reports of funding and logistical support.
Hear this fucking white bitch.
Do you deny all of that?
Ce n'est pas vrai.
Got it, Kala.
You see how this propaganda works? Thank God we got social media. You see how she's basically throwing out all this stuff, the UN reports and whatnot. You know, the same UN stuff like that said we had weapons of mass destruction. Remember that? You know, we had weapons of mass destruction and everything like that. You know, so they make up this stuff like they want to. Basically, she's trying to frame Museveni and everything like that. He said, if I had the support of them, I'd be in Kinshasa right now. Because they know if they had the real support, they could roll and take over like Kabila did back in the 90s. So she's basically trying to frame Paul Kagame and Museveni about the war. And like he said, look, they're in the Congo, right? And they have ethnic Tutsis and everything like that. Ethnic Tutsis who are facing genocide. That's reality. I've had people, you know, Bomani, I've told you, people in the Congo tell me, Kala, we got to wipe out the Tutsis. We got to wipe out the Tutsis. You heard, I told you about that, right?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Genocide against the Tutsis is real. And so if people want to defend themselves, see, you guys got something about the African American. African American will let somebody destroy him and run all over him and everything like that, and not even put up a fight. These people are like, you're not gonna genocide me. You're not gonna wipe me out without a fight. So that's what's going on. And so therefore, these people at M23 are fighting for their thing, you know. Now, all the stuff that's going on is because the fact that it's lawlessness. There's some people who basically are making money, and I'm sure they're doing some corrupt deals and everything. But that's true. They're probably getting money from nefarious ways and doing stuff like that. But she said that Rwanda, right, which would gain nothing from having Rwanda would gain from working with the Congolese government to stabilize the border. Why would they want to have friggin' conflict and everything like that, on this border? So this lady doesn't even make any sense. She goes out there and she's like, because these people hate Paul Kagame. That's all it's all about. They hate Paul Kagame. It's so this video she's just showing her ass, and nothing. She says nothing about. She didn't ask them, are you getting money from the Russians? Are you getting money from the UK? Are you getting money from the Belgian? Are you getting money from the Canadians? Are you getting money from the Turks? Are you getting money from the Lebanese and all these other people like that? Yeah, so Kagame, they invaded Congo because that's what they had to go in there because to take out rebels. Yeah, they had to invade the Congo. Because that's where the rebel groups are. Congo has never controlled that area, even from the 1960s and everything. There's always been a place of instability, So that's because you have this country created called the Congo, with the Kinshasas on the Atlantic coast, and you got these people thousands of miles away doing their own thing, and you can't have control over something that people are completely different. There's no one group of people called Congolese. They're not a homogeneous people. You got ethnic Congo people. You got all these different Bantu people, all these other people living up there, and they don't speak on the same terms and everything. So basically, the nation state is just a name of figures. And so people look at the map. Oh, I gotta go by the map drawn by the United Nations and everything. This is a Congo, yeah. Hey, Klaus, nigga, I guess we're countries now because some UN border created by the European border makes us a country. That doesn't work like that in real life. So it's ridiculous,
All right, Kala, well said as usual, brother. Let me run this video. We got a few more minutes.
Right.
We have to go?
After pushing him on Rwanda, our interview was cut short, and we were asked to leave the country earlier than planned.
So these M23 soldiers are just escorting us back to the Ugandan border that we crossed this morning. We're not entirely sure why it's such a rush. Originally, they told us we could stay a bit longer, but they suddenly said that we had to go.
Rwandan authorities denied our repeated requests for an interview, but told Vice News, quote, Rwanda has no interest in perpetuating a conflict on its borders or being drawn into an internal conflict in the DRC, adding, the accusations of the UN group of experts are without basis. Even in the face of an international war with Rwanda, Congo's government has much more than M23 to contend with. The population's anger is boiling over into sustained protests against the perceived failure of the government and the UN to protect people. The UN's MONUSCO peacekeeping mission is one of the largest and oldest in the world. It has $1 billion annual budget and peacekeepers in bases across the country. But resentment against the Blue Helmets has been building for years as poorly armed rebels continue to massacre civilians in towns with large UN forces. Organizers like Jackson Zahara are behind the protests, demanding for the UN to leave the country. Sinzahara is rallying participants for another protest to demand that foreign troops, the UN, and regional forces from East Africa leave Congo to fight its own battles.
Why is there such intense anger, even when this population is being attacked by rebel groups in their area? Why are they so angry at the UN?
Donc, la colère là ne vient que de ce qu'a joué la mission nigérienne au Congo. Ils ont venu juste piller nos minéraux. Ils n'ont pas restauré la paix comme ça stipule dans leur mission. Et on a connu la multiplication des groupes armés. Au fait, parce que lorsque quelqu'un vous dit no war, no job, ça veut dire qu'ils sont là pour le business.
So you don't think it would have any impact if all these troops, all of these weapons that are supposed to protect people here just disappeared tomorrow?
Avant la MONUSCO, le Congo existait et on vivait un peu. Et après la MONUSCO, le Congo continuera. Parce qu'on n'est pas obligé de vivre éternellement avec une mission qui ne nous apporte rien. Nous devons nous battre pour vivre un Congo nouveau, un Congo digne et un Congo bien gouverné.
Recent anti-UN protests have turned deadly. At least 29 civilians and 4 UN peacekeepers died in protests where UN facilities were ransacked and looted throughout eastern Congo. Despite the risks, people still turned up in downtown Goma to join Sinzahera's team.
These protesters are trying to make it to the center of the city, outside one of the big UN peacekeeping bases there. But the police, the governor, and the UN have all asked them to call it off already. So it looks like about a quarter of the protesters actually made it here to the UN. The police stopped a bunch of them in town. They arrested some journalists. These guys at least are going to try and do a sit-in here.
Pour nous, on a un message, la patrie ou la mort nous vaincront, et on ne libère pas un peuple se libère. La paix ne viendra pas des Kenyans, la paix ne viendra pas des Ougandais ou des Burundais. La paix ne viendra que du peuple congolais. Et c'est aujourd'hui ou jamais, le peuple se lève pour dire non à ce complot international contre notre pays.
But as soon as police descended, the remaining protesters had to run. M23 has surrounded Goma and vows to take the city again. Frustrated and angry, young Congolese people like Esperance say this fight is the last straw in the endless violence they've experienced. Do you think in your lifetime that Eastern Congo can be totally at peace and rid of all of these rebel groups?
Habatagabulaka hii nchi kama tungali na sie na sirika ke tunashe tuko tu wasoda na sie tuvale tu teni. Habatagabulaka hii nchi. Ndeshanto vishaingia na mwakili na mudamu na muesprit antuka tushasirika.
I'm Michael Lerma.
Yes, brother, live and direct.
Yeah, you saw it. You know, yeah, she kept asking leading questions. You know, leading questions. She failed. Yeah, okay. We established that M23 are ethnic Tutsis, right? They're fighting. Well, we found that they're trying to fight and preserve themselves, right? So this what died on this. We exposed this video podcast that Congolese and Africans are not mindless savages who love killing and everything like that. These people on all sides generally want peace and they want in a conflict. Can we say that about the UN? Can we say that about the British? Can we say that about the Belgium? You know? So let's say it. I never said they were, but you can't stop the fact. Look, why do you keep putting this on Paul Kagame? They just said they're ethnic Tutsis living in the Congo. What is these people, the ethnic Tutsis that don't like Paul Kagame? They sent out the thing the other day. They sent out threats on the internet talking about they're gonna burn, kill, and overthrow Paul Kagame. You know, you got ethnic Tutsis who don't like the fact that they're sharing power with Hutus in Rwanda. They like somebody said, the ethnic conflict is spilling over in the Congo. So what makes you think they're backed by Paul Kagame? You know, I mean, it's just absurd. Just say you don't like Paul Kagame. Why are we going to pin Paul Kagame on something that he has nothing to do with? You know, it's just freaking utterly ridiculous. You know, it's so annoying to me. You know, this is a pattern we see all in 2023 with the age of the internet. I'm glad something came out. This guy said, look, man, we're just basically like this. What about reports? He goes, that's all fabricated, a bunch of lies. You know, that all lies, man. That's all lies. You know, and the bottom line lays like, well, what about her? Suddenly y'all got to go. She probably said something to piss them off, and y'all got to get out of here. Because they know what these Western journalists are behind almost all the conflicts in Africa are these so-called Western journalists. They come in there with their precursor. They come in there finding, if they come in here, this is what they want to say. She said for the start by Paul Kagame. She couldn't find anybody on that thing that says Paul Kagame. Did you hear one person say, yes, Paul Kagame and the Rwandan government are behind this? The guy said, if the Rwandan government behind me, I take Kinshasa. But, oh, no, but he said, no, I wish I had the backing of these guys, you know? So Paul Kagame decides to take advantage of the situation. I have a problem with that. At least he's somebody what's up. He's not taking advantage. He's just doing business, right? There's still minerals and everything being sucked out of the Congo and whatnot going overseas and everything. Why shouldn't Paul Kagame and his businessmen, his country, buy some of these coltan and everything and make products and make what money off it? You know, why not? You know, it's going somewhere. You know, why I would rather go to Rwanda and to be honest with you, you know. You know, do we all got to be poor all the time? Do we all got to be miserable? You know, and the bottom line is this: the Congo and Eastern Congo, I really feel sorry for that region, man. They suffered a lot over the decades, but one thing the Congo has to do is probably break up. You know, we have to probably break up. You know, Kinshasa is nothing but an outpost. It used to be called Leopoldville. It used to be a outpost of the British, the Belgian and the French empires. You know. And so all they did was put a black face on this empire that spanned out to the rest of the Congo. You know, it was an outpost. You know, so these people that's in Kinshasa got all this power over people in the interior that they have no ethnic relationship with. Rwanda is specifically the highest foreign for mineral smuggle, now funding weapons. You know, okay, so how are they funding weapons? That's true. How are they How could they funding weapons? You know, the bottom line, they're not. You know, while Paul Kagame takes his money, right? I don't see him buying big cars and everything like that. I see him building schools. Do you know Rwanda shut down this last mission school? There, you know, charity schools that Africa relies on for everything. Rwanda, all these children in Rwanda now got public education and they all got laptops. So Rwanda is going to be the data center and the ITC center of the whole entire continent one day. It's already getting there right there. It's going to be the banking and business transaction place, you know, of the future. So they want to stop that. So therefore, instead of you going to the Lords of London and the Swiss for finance and everything, you could be able to go to Rwanda and sell your minerals to an African exchange, you know, stock exchange and commodity exchange. Rwanda is going to have the logistics set up for that. That's what they want to stop. You know, black people don't see until it's too late. Damn, man. Paul Kagame was doing good. And yeah, now you overthrew him. Same thing about Tolbert in Liberia. Oh, man, we were doing so well. When yeah, you know. Why? Because Africans, every time we look around, there's a coup. They celebrate. Yeah, we have a coup. 2 years later, when there's another coup, they're celebrating. Damn, you just celebrated this guy go like that, you know? No, the Belgians are not gone. That's another thing. People like this guy right here don't understand something. Just because the white people are not there, they're still there. Everything you see in the Congo is just black people. That's why the conflict is. You got people doing their own thing, doing the bidding of Europeans. Europeans are still carving out landing strips and they're taking minerals out of the continent. You know, so all the coltan that's being cobalt that's being mined by thousands of miners. You see that video, right? Mined by
yes.
children and whatnot. I guess Paul Kagame is doing that too, right? You know, the Europeans that are making electric cars and everything like that off the lithium and everything like that in the Congo, where people working for like 2 cents a day. Oh yeah, no, Europeans. They're gone right now. You know, Belgium is a piece of shit backward country. Belgium is not even worthy of a friggin' a rundown city in America. You know. The Belgium was always a derelict kingdom and whatnot. They relied on the French and the United States for capital and logistics and everything. Belgium was a backward country in Europe. And King Louis was nothing but a thug and a criminal, you know, of a degenerate kingdom called Belgium. So the Belgians out there, yeah, the French, but all the Belgian partners are there. The French and all these other people, they're partners. Belgium just basically like the Portuguese, right? They claim the land, they get their European partners to come bloodsuck and finance everything. You know, we know how this game works in Africa. Well, it's buying Africa from UK, Denmark with aid money. No. Rwanda basically said, "Yo, look, it wasn't. If people are going to have a refugee, we'll take them or not because we got space for them and everything." And it's not just Arabs; it's also African refugees who live in Rwanda from the UK and stuff like that, Ethiopians and everything like that. So it's not just Arabs and Syrians that live there, you know. So all that, but it tells me people are just jealous and they're envious of Rwanda. So it's easy to get on social media spreading a bunch of lies. Same lies they spread about Rwanda, same lies they spread about Liberia. You know, there's nothing new under the sun. Nothing new under the sun. But those of us black people in the West, we're looking at things differently. You know, you got so-called Pan-Africanism. Oh man, yeah, Rwanda is a thing like Pan. So in other words, you want war Rwanda, you want Rwanda to be destroyed and everything like that. Then what? No, but you're just sitting in America, right? Waving a red, black, and green, talking about Pan-Africanism and everything. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. That's what we're talking about tonight. What is ours? What is our birthright? You know, I have every right to talk about this. This is my ancestral homeland. The Congo is my ancestral homeland. So I have every right to talk about what's going on there, you know, and I'm completely unbiased.
Yes, Kala, no guests on, no guests on.
So what do you think about that video?
Yeah, I did see it a few times. Yeah, it's just unfortunate the constant drama in the Congo. I don't think they ever seen a day of peace in their lives.
Yeah, but somehow that why is that Rwanda's fault though?
Because some of their people, yeah.
Rwanda's a scapegoat, you know. It got to be Rwanda, you know. Even the guy said we're ethnic Tutsis and whatnot. We're trying to survive here. You know, that's all we are. We're trying to survive from genocide. You know, these people, these ethnic Tutsis, remember, hundreds of thousands died in the Rwanda genocide. They fled to the Congo and they're there now. You know,
Right on the border.
and so they say, "Oh yeah, you're exporting their problems." The ethnic Congo always had ethnic problems. You know, they always had ethnic problems. You know. Yeah, Twitter's not me. I have a BAO social network. You know, besides this, I don't want to be spread too thin. You know, I don't want to spread too thin. If you want to engage with me, you join my social network. You know. Now with all this, you know, this is why I said this conversation we had tonight, when it goes out to the public, right? Well, African Americans that are interested in Liberia are in my social network. The serious ones join me. They're in the BAO social network. I don't do Twitter. You know, I don't like engaging with people on Twitter and stuff like that because it's a bunch of nonsense. People have nothing really to do with their time but sit online talking a bunch of nonsense all day. When people join the BAO social network, I know they're serious. I know they're ready to get down, they're ready to connect with real people. So anybody want to be with me, you join the BAO. There's only one place you find me is the BAO social network. People want to get fed knowledge and whatnot, you join the Kala Genesis, join the BAO social network. Download the global the app. It's just like an app, just like Twitter and everything. You can upload. We have a forum there. You can upload forum topics and everything like that. You can friend request people and follow people and everything like that. Same thing. You know, we got to move away from these white people's platforms. You know, then we can discuss things how we want to discuss them. You know, that's why I built a real Pan-African forum that we could talk. You know, why we giving Twitter our money and whatnot, you know, and the algorithm and everything. Let's build up our own social media platform. That's what infrastructure is all about. How the hell are we going to talk about infrastructure and we're on somebody else's infrastructure, you know? We got to have our own. This is the only thing we really need from the white man is YouTube, you know, maybe Facebook. All these other platforms and everything like that, they can go jump in the lake. Yeah, although the host is half Rwandan. What host does have?
Hey, greetings, not Measy. What's up?
Greetings, brothers. Greetings. How is everyone?
We're doing well. We're doing well. We have to make sure we give you a disclaimer, brother. No disclaimer. Everything has to be in peace and all good energy. You know what I'm saying? So basically, brother, honestly, none of the past craziness. So if you want to come and speak the truth, it's all good. No foul languages, no insulting guests and hosts and things like that. But
brother, I come in peace. I always come in peace until someone comes disrespectfully. But so look,
we still have to agree to not use ridiculous.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I respect your platform. Absolutely, absolutely. I got you, bro. So now it's a decent show, man. I was listening to it on not a decent show. It was a good show. I was listening to it on the way to work. I do agree that those Vice hit pieces need to stop. Really, you know, the nerve of some white lady to go in the middle of almost a war zone, a conflict zone, asking these questions. I'm like, they should have ran her butt out of there a lot sooner, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? But I have a question for my brother Kala. If I don't want even a top 5, your top 3 heavy hitters in terms of diasporans doing stuff for the continent, who would they be? 1, 2, and 3. I'm speaking of people like Randall Robinson and the like.
Well, it's a hard. Excuse me. That's a hard to say because everybody's doing their own thing, right? Randall Robinson is a great man. You know, I followed him back in the 90s and everything with Randall Robinson. And that was really funny when he went after Nigeria back in the 90s when he changed himself to the Nigerian embassy in DC. That was a funny times for everything. Randall Robinson is a great man. You know, he's done a lot for the world. And because of him, right, I realized that Black people in America basically have a lot to say as far as like the global world, Black world. Now, Andrew Young did a whole lot, you know, as far as like, you know, bridging the gap between Africa and Black America over the years and stuff like that. There's a few of them, you know. Andrew Young did a lot. Let me tell you something.
Could you tell me about Andrew Young, please? Tell me a little bit about him. I haven't heard of that brother.
Andrew, you heard Andrew Young.
The mayor of former mayor of Atlanta, Georgia.
He was the one that was on the balcony with Martin Luther King when he got shot. You know, Andrew Young.
Okay, yeah.
But Kala, you're forgetting one person, brother.
Who's that? I'm talking about
Umar Johnson. You forgot Umar Johnson.
Oh yeah, Dr. Umar Johnson. Yeah, man, the Prince of Pan Pizza. You know. But no disrespect to Umar Johnson and everything like that. But like I said, when I don't mean to be long-winded, but let me give you an example, right? When I first came on social media back, I was had the Kala Nation for decades, right? When I came on social media and I discovered something in 2006, right? I wanted to talk about certain things, right? Because I studied with the Charlotte Science Institute for years, right? When in my young years, right? I studied infrastructure, science, industry, and stuff like that. And I knew the way forward is to make, talk about Africa and stuff like that, about business, about infrastructure and industries and how the world works. When I got on social media, I found that nobody was talking about that, right? For example, when I first got on, and I had a couple of partners that knew banking and finance, right? So I knew I couldn't just
hold on, brother. I'm one of your top 3 because I'm at work. I'm ready to start working. So we got Andrew Johnson, Randall Robinson, Andrew. What was his name? Andrew
Young.
Andrew Young. And who would you round out that top 3 with, brother?
Okay, off the top of my head, as far as like, I would say
Umar Johnson. Dr.
Akbar Muhammad.
Okay, Akbar Muhammad. Now, check this out. You two brothers, right? Y'all go hard for Pan-Africanism. Look, I'm not a Pan-African, but I respect the fact that y'all go hard for it, right? Do y'all ever like look around and say, damn, man, where the Africans going so hard for Pan-Africanism like y'all are? You know what I'm saying? Where's the energy from the Africans like the energy that y'all have? going, just banging constantly, boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't just look up sometimes and be like, yo, where y'all at? Come, lend a hand, because I don't see no other shows that's doing it like this.
Right, all right. Let me say this.
Afro-dumbass. Afro-dumb. What about
Afro-dumbass. Yeah, he got my vote, bro. But no, the problem is this, right? And that BZ is the fact that, and let's be honest with ourselves, right? Bomani and I are both middle-class Black people with time on our hands. And we're idealists. I'm an idealist. I'm an idealist, right? Unfortunately, our brothers in Africa, right, are in the survivalist mode, right? Their thing is trying to survive, running water. That's like you hear that thing where O'Shea, look at O'Shea's last show on Kanana channel, right? He addressed that, and I'm proud of O'Shea when he said this Nigerian lady came to America, right, and she basically said Black people in America should stop all this Black stuff and everything. Get over slavery, get over that because you got it good in America, right? And the point is made that, yes, we have it good because we built this country, And so, in other words, basically, Africans say, you guys got food, you got running water, if you guys don't, and everything like that. But that's something we earned. We built this country. We laid the foundation. We were here. We were building the railways, everything. It was Black people on one side, and the Chinese people on the other side building the transcontinental railway. The ditches you see, everything you see in America, the initial building of America was Black hands. These are the hands that built America, So therefore, when an immigrant comes over here and disrespect like that, and I say, hey, look, you can't say that because you coming over here and you're saying like, we're still in the fight. We're still fighting everything. We're like the people holding the floodgates of racism, white supremacy up and everything. That's who we are as a people. But the Africans don't understand that. They come over here and they benefit. They see this country. Oh, yeah, an opportunity. How'd you get this opportunity? It was Black people who had to integrate corporate America and everything like that. It used to be a time where Black people couldn't even become insurance agents, and so they couldn't get your the basic stuff in America. We opened those doors and everything. And so what you said about how African Pan-Africanism, Africans are just trying to survive, right? Black people.
All right, so I got that point. So they have different struggles, right? And I don't want to cut you, but I'm short on time. They have different struggles, but even with the struggles that Black Americans had in America, we in some terms defied the American government and then went and lent military support to certain African countries, right? So we didn't allow the stuff that we were going through in America to stop us from reaching out to our brothers on the continent. I'll call them our long lost cousins, right? On the continent. That energy has not been reciprocated. So when I ask you for your top three, now I will ask you in closing, who are your top three African continental heavy hitters that have done anything for the diaspora?
Okay, well, I'll give you Kwame Nkrumah. He definitely met with Malcolm X, and the Organization of African American Unity.
Brother, but I need the ones that have done something. I'm not talking about idealists, people with good ideas. I'm talking about that because Randall Robinson did work. I need people that have done actual tangible work that we can say this program they've done, this military revolution they've led. They took licks. They freed up. They worked on behalf of Black Americans. I need the tangibles. Top three. Let's go.
When Nelson Mandela became president, he basically opened up a lot of opportunities for Black people in America to come to South. There's still Black people over there doing really well because Mandela said, "Look, hold on. Let me say this. Do you know the Black economic empowerment of South Africa also includes African Americans?
Wait, but when we go to Nelson Mandela, you got to talk about Randall Robinson, right?
Right. Yeah.
So that was, you can call that reciprocal. I'm talking about that they just off the rip said, yo, our brothers in America need a hand. Let's pull our resources together. Let's use our political power and speak on behalf of the diaspora, specifically Black Americans.
There's never been an African country that's ever risen to that position.
And that's my point. Brother. We've been doing it just like y'all two are doing it. Hold on, brother, because give me a second. We've been doing it. And it's been lopsided. The fact that you can name 3 Black Americans that have done tangible things for the continent, and we can even go way before that, the people you mentioned, even before Marcus Garvey. He was from West Virginia, and when was in Pittsburgh, he went to Nigeria. What was his name? Come on, Africa for the Africans. Martin Delaney. Delaney.
Yeah,
so we got the Delaney's, we got the Robinsons, we got the Brown Condor, we got all this stuff, but then we ask your Africans, what's up? When y'all gonna jump in this fight? They never jump in, bro. So then it's left to a diasporan bridge being bridged to the continent. So I'm saying, like, Pan-Africans, like y'all on the front lines, y'all got to start holding these Africans accountable. They got to start putting work. They got to start putting in equal work in terms of trying to make Pan-Africanism grow. And I'm not a Pan-Africanism, but this is why I stopped, because they just be sitting back like, yeah, do this and do that and speak for us. Meanwhile, they jump on the coattails of our movements, use our slogans for their stuff, but then when it's reciprocal, we don't get nothing.
I hear Brett Knack, you're singing to the choir. I've been saying that at the beginning of the show. Them days are over. You know, them days are basically everybody's a Pan-Africanist when it's spiritual. But I asked a question, right? I don't know if you heard this, right? And I said this the last show, right? When the mining concessions are being carved up and their families and everybody are being grandfathered in like that, African Americans, some of those mines in the Congo should belong to us. My ancestors come from the Congo, right? How do we know where they get the lithium from? Ain't my ancestral land, right? No one else talking about the oil blocks off the Nigerian coast, where that one Nigerian lady became a billionaire. How do we know that African Americans don't deserve oil blocks and stuff like that goes on? So it can't be Pan, can't be all, oh, we're gonna help Africa. And the bottom line is that when it comes down to carving everything, they deal with everybody but us. When it comes down to carving the resource.
Absolutely. Check this out, bro, real quick. When somebody in the comment mentioned something that I always speak about, the only country contemporarily that has done something for the diaspora, right, was Senegal, who opened their doors to, it was 1,500 Haitians after the earthquake. They gave them scholarships, land, and integration courses into Senegal, right? Nigeria also provided police training for Haitian police officers. So, but that's Haiti. We're talking about Black America, the heaviest hitters in terms of Pan-Africanism. Yeah. The ones, the movers and shakers. There's no country or government in Africa that said, yo, let's look out for the people that have been pushing this. What they do is a matter of fact, they jump and they come and learn from us.
Nobody's ever asked these people, because when I talk to a lot of Pan-Africans, like they follow Dr. Arikana around, right? And I'm saying to myself, these people want us to, with the ADI stuff, they want us to invest in their whatever they're trying to bet like that. And they know the prize is Black America. But I don't see nobody saying, well, Black America is going to get this, Black America. That's why the BAO is like, wait, we don't follow on stuff. We're like, BAO is all about building in Africa, but Black America to me comes first. You know, we're not at the table and we're not benefiting from it, to me, it's not real Pan-Africanism. You know, it can't be all just us giving our time and everything like that. Let me give you an example, right? Bomani and Jagazi, you know, we have a thing where kids are going to school, whatever like that, right? And some people ask the question, well, we're putting our money in these projects and everything. How are the local people? And some African Americans say, well, the local people, I said, well, if we're trying to build something that they benefit. But our job is not to take care of Ghanaian children. That's the responsibility of their government and the people. If we come and benefit and we can mutually benefit, yeah, fine. We want to see Ghanaian kids benefit, but that's not our priority and responsibility. So that's a change in our thinking that we were before. Before, it was like let me give you an example. I said this to Bomani today. I think a lot of people that got scammed by Luke Major, Taiwan, everything, I think a lot of African Americans don't even care. They just want to say, yeah, I invested in Africa. They don't even follow through on saying, well, they're going to get any return on it. You invest in something, you should get a return on it, right? Okay, I did this, I made money. A lot of people invest in Africa don't even get a return. We're not those Pan-Africanists, you know? I'm not going to just throw my money away to something and I don't get a profit or benefit from it, you know? That right there is gone. And that's because a lot of us look at us as, oh, we're so successful, we got so much in America. Yeah, we do. But at the same time, and this is, I know you got to go, but this is the problem. There's a void in Black America, right? We're the only group of Black people that don't have a sense of agency or autonomy on the world stage, right? Jamaicans at least got Jamaica, you know. The people from Barbados could say, yeah, we got a prime minister, even though they say I'm Black American like that. The people of UK, UK people come back to Jamaica. You know, they got something, right? Black America is the only group of people, right? We're saying we're trying to establish ourselves in Africa to have something for ourselves and everything. And everybody's telling us, oh, no. We want to try to establish ourselves and have some sort of agency and autonomy on the African continent and everything like that. So we can have businesses and everything like that that we own.
So let me respond real quick. You said the Jamaicans have Jamaica, right? The Bajans have Barbados. The blacks from the UK have their countries in Africa and the Caribbean, right? What does the Black American have? What is our birthright? Our birthright is America. We are of African descent, but our birthright, oh, brother, come on, man. Damn, why this is where we go left, bro. This is where we always go left. We've been doing well. Please allow me to finish my thought. Our birthright is in America. That's it. We understand that we come from West and Central Africa. That's cool. But when you think about the economic opportunities globally, and really where a lot of people are going to, America is that financial promised land that many Africans are going to, right? So we can't give that up wholesale and then move to the continent, to a place where we just talked about that they have struggles like running water. Why would we leave a first world country that our ancestors built to go back to a country where the people are leaving because their infrastructure is trash? What I'm saying is you don't have to. Hold on, brother. Hold on.
You gotta let us respond to some of the things you're talking about.
Yeah, but I'm saying you gotta let me finish my thought. Let me finish my thought, brother. Let me finish, and then I'm gonna throw the mic back to you, brother. I'm almost done. So when the Jamaica has Jamaica, we have America. We got a brother on here that put in his work in the American military. Right, we got ancestors that built that country, because I'm not there right now, but they built the country, so we ain't gotta leave to try to get something from Africa. If you want to do it, then that's cool. But our birthright as Black Americans is America, just like the birthright of a Jamaican is Jamaica. That's what it is. We got there the same damn way. The Black Jamaican went to Jamaica on a slave ship. The Black American went to America on a slave ship. We 10 toes down. And you can say, look, I'm not leaving if you don't want to, because we've earned our spot there. I'll pass the mic.
Okay, now
let me add this in real quick. The main thing about our connection in Africa is not for people to leave here and just go to Africa. I mean, most people need to stay here in America and build Black power and Black enterprise. So those of us who are building real business or real stuff in Africa can do Black-owned business with each other. But also the future of Africa is a connection that we need to tap into. I mean, that is also our birthright and our connection. Being stolen, sold, or however people want to say. So if how are we gonna sit in America and let everybody else around the world enterprise, and then the biggest piece of future opportunity, because it is a great future opportunity if we put our money together correctly and we build certain things sustainably. I mean, the level of opportunity in the future is so vast where we should be encouraging more of us to go to Africa and work together to build something. I think the issue is it's not been very fruitful because, most people are not organizing themselves just like they're not doing here. You see, like where I'm at, Indians, Asian, a bunch of folks, they're just coming up, buying up everything, and they're enterprising. And, we have money also. But, so
Bomani, brother, thank you. We didn't go left today. No one cursed each other out.
Well, let me respond to what you
Wait,
said.
hold on, brother. We didn't curse each other. Kala and I agreed on most points. I agree with Bomani just said. Those same two people, right, that he named, the Asians and whatever, they're doing the same thing in Africa. So what it is, it's really a mindset change, not necessarily a geographical change. So Black people in America need to wake up, smell the coffee, and get that money and start building out that economic power base. You don't have to go to the continent to do it. If you decide to go to the continent and do it, I wish you the best of luck. But all of us ain't gonna go. Y'all ain't pushing that everybody should go.
Yeah,
but
Africa
America is the birthright of the Black American.
Okay.
Yeah, Africa is more of an expansion. People need to
let me
stay here in America and focus on building what needs to be built, which is real Black power, Black ownership.
there are black people in America. The sisters, these black women that basically have the largest black-owned, female-owned construction company in America. There's black people doing amazing things in America, big things, you know. That one lady from the, I forgot the, from the McKinsey Group, right? She basically is building infrastructure in places like that. She's trying to go to Africa. She's going to be in Africa too and everything. There's a lot of opportunity if we're organized and building on the African continent. I just think that you got Timothy Hightower. You know, remember we played the video that got deleted, right? Of Akron, Ohio, that basically has a oil transport business, right? He operates in Africa, right? Africa is just basically something to add to our portfolio, that we could be global players in the world, you know? Nobody ever said that we have to give, look, Black America have every right to be in America more than anybody else, benefit and everything. I want Black people in America to be happy with America. I talked to a brother of mine yesterday, right? And he travels to Africa all the time. He's been to Ghana 4 times. He's been all these other places like that. And I'll tell him about tours. And he has a nice house in Virginia Beach, right? Nice house, a couple of cars in the driveway. He makes good money. And Virginia Beach is, I honestly, right, cannot tell somebody black people live in Virginia Beach, the middle of suburbia, black success, Virginia Beach is becoming a black city, you know? Nice black city, nice homes, everybody doing good and everything. You got black people working in a deli and working in Uber, making $60,000 a year. It's money every place, you know, doing well. You got black people in the shipyards, in the trades, the lawyers, everything like that here. Now, I'm saying that we said the same thing. He said, we go to Africa because we see this vacation, investment, and everything. We're making our presence known on the continent, right? Nobody sane is telling black people, you have to bum rush the coast, give up America, American racism. We could deal with American racism like a little ant. We could squash, you know? But what's saying is we need to build ourselves up in America and basically invest in Africa. I would love, ideally it'd be 50-50, but I would say if I can get, 5% of black African-American wealth into Africa, right? That's big. It's like $300 billion, you know? If black people invested 5% of their wealth, or 5% of black people invested a lot of their wealth with Africa into an African-American investment firm, African-American bank, right? What's wrong with forming an African-American diaspora bank in the African continent, right? Where we're basically funding mining projects and everything. We're making the billions of dollars. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with giving our kids that to inherit, right? Where they can go on their Robinhood app and invest in different companies that we're building on the African continent in partnership with African governments. I think that's the future, you know? Who could be against that? You know, so to write Africa off, Africa is going to be vital in the future. That's the future. But at the same time, yes, there's more and more black people are going into middle America and everything like that. I think, to tell you the truth, to be perfectly honest with you, right? The new Pan-African movement is becoming more of an upper class, middle class black movement, right? Because black people are like, okay, I reached the pinnacle of my success in America, right? What else is there, right? Some black people go to Dubai. Some black people will go to China. You know how many African Americans that live in Japan right now that are doing business and everything? They want a new scene. You got African American business people that are in Australia right now, or all over the world. Saying if we're going all over the world, they've got a large community of African Americans in South Africa doing business and everything. Go look at the series Blacks Without Borders. Wish we had time to play that tonight. Blacks Without Borders. Black people are all over the world. Blacks we're living in a global world. Take advantage of opportunity. All we're saying as far as a Pan-African standpoint is, get your education in America, get your wealth and everything. This is where you're going to live and everything. And so, take a tour, invest in Africa, right? And who knows, you might be able to buy a vacation home or somewhere in Africa and discover yourself and everything. You have an outlet. I think personally, this is my personal opinion, right? And I want to say like this. I believe that, when I was trying to tell Nagmezi is about his escape. Jamaicans, and I know, got an escape. They go to Jamaica. A lot of my friends, right? When we were talking this Black Power stuff like that, and they go to Bermuda, but they come back oh yeah. Why? Because they got away from it. Black people in America don't have a natural escape. The African American don't have a natural escape. Where our people our brothers and sisters from Jamaica, Haiti, whatever like that, go overseas, they go back home, they go into all black environments and everything. There's people from the Bahamas and everything. And like I said, I grew up with a lot of people from the islands and everything. My cousins are from the island, from Barbados. My cousins, my mother's, my aunts, husband, my Uncle Junior, he's from Barbados, you know, and he was like, you know, he knows all the Barbados stuff and everything like that. So he comes back, you know, he's retired now. You know, he had a job with the city of New York when I made good money and everything like that. But to get away from the racism that we're in and everything, they have an outlet. Black people in America, African Americans don't have the outlet. That's why it's good to take a trip to Ghana once a year, take a trip to Liberia, take a trip to South Africa, you know, build there, stuff like that, connect, you know. Has no cut. That big family. Yo, but I saw a video where Tariq was well, he had a packed house, man. What happened? You know, he had a packed house, you know. You know, look, Zahn Murray, I'm not influenced. I'm just saying, look, I am a Pan-Africanist, you know. I believe that, you know. But, you know, but the thing is, I cannot tell Black people to bum rush the coast, you know, like this, I say. But the bottom line is this: Africa needs us. And the fact that Africans haven't reciprocated that, I get that. I understand. I've been saying that for years. But Black people in America have been in a position because, let's be honest with ourselves, a Nigerian, well, despite all his work, man, he's in Nigeria, right? He's like, hey, you want to come to Nigeria, just come to Nigeria, whatever, like whatever. You know, you want to come to Cameroon, come to Cameroon, you know? No one's stopping you from coming here. Everybody can get a passport and go to Africa, right? That's the way Africans say it. You got the money to come over here, come on over here, you know? So that's the whole thing, you know? I'm not telling anybody that, you know, that they have to stay in America and that. I'm not telling anybody they got to all go to Africa, but the Africans are not going to be like, oh, we're going to fight for our African Americans, when they're basically making it themselves. We're not. And like I said, the idea of Black African infrastructure, I said the only thing holding Black people back from moving to Africa in any large numbers is infrastructure.
Serious.
That's it. We need Black African infrastructure. Right now, Ghana is white infrastructure in Africa, you know. Black infrastructure you see in Africa are white infrastructure, you know. That's not Black African. We want an Afrikstan. We want Black African infrastructure. We want Black African supply chains and stuff like that. Then you'll create wealth. We did our own commodities exchanges. We did our own import exporting, you know, trading companies and everything like that. Black African infrastructure. That's what it's all about. You know, that's what we think. We believe in the God of infrastructure. You know, we pray to the God of infrastructure. You know, we reciprocate what? How many Africans have fed? Has that fed? How many battles that win? You know, protests. I mean, yeah. African. I don't respect what Africans are trying to. You know, it's a little hard, man. The average African is worrying about his next meal. You know, he ain't thinking about trying to feed a bunch of African Americans when that. All this stuff that we talk about, the Pan-Africans, like that. This is an idealism. You know, I'm an idealist. I'm a visionary. You know, But there's an old saying, right? Philosophy is for men with full stomachs. You know, the African stomach is hungry, right? He can't think about philosophy. It's called, in Liberia, we call it belly-driven politics, you know? When your belly is driving your thoughts and your processor. That's what you have in Africa. Everything's belly-driven. People think about their damn next meal, you know? Yeah, I agree with Steve Harvey what he said. You know, Africa's us, you know, and, you know, go to the continent and everything. We're all one people. I get that. But we're not all one situation, you know? We're not destitute like that, you know? We're not like that. We want to build, but what I like to see Africa saying is, we're going to build the next Dubai. All the money that Nigeria made in oil wealth, they could have built new, modern, state-of-the-art smart cities and whatnot. They could have been bringing millions of people home, whatever. But they chose not to do that. You know, they chose not to do that. They chose that there's millions of Nigerians live overseas that want to come back home and everything like that. Why should be people trekking across the Sahara Desert to get mistreated in Morocco and Tunisia and places like this? Why not? Where is the Let's Build Africa project going on? You know, where is that? The Equatorial Guinea. This is one thing I want to say about Dr. Arikana. I'm not buying her talking about. I'm not buying her talking about France and the Europeans. That's easy. They're low hanging fruit. But notice how she never says anything about the corrupt African dictators. You know. You notice how she never did that. She never mentioned the president of Equatorial Guinea. You know, never once. Why? Because all they have to, if she starts speaking up, a little wire transfer of a few $1,000s will keep her quiet. You know, I know what I'm dealing with. You know, the president of Equatorial Guinea is a tyrant. You know, he's the country is nothing but a puppet everything. And the Western companies basically are just biding their time until somebody overthrows them, and they're going to deal with whoever comes in. He only gets 12% of the oil revenue. A bad deal. Usually it's 50% or 60%, you know. He only gets 12% of the oil revenue that they take out massive oil revenue, of much money they take out of the Middle East. But the treasury of his country is his own personal bank account. His son has Lamborghinis, Ferraris all over the world. That Orange County, California arrested his son, and impounded a lot of, look it up, impounded all his stuff. But I don't see Africans talking about that, you know? You have to start calling out the corruption and the graft that's going on the continent, you know? And so, therefore, like I said, Africa has its own problems, you know? And I don't think Pan-Africanism, the way we see it, is their priority. We have to make the case of Pan-Africanism and everything, but Pan-Africanism is giving us something tangible. You know, it can't be all talk and revenue while the Africans are looting the continent and doing whatever they want. We should have African American business groups and consulting, you know. Uzan Mareri, I wish you could call in, you know. Okay, let me say this, right? This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm talking about, right? This is the thing. I want to say this respectfully, right? The minerals in Africa are useless to Africans because minerals and all that stuff like that are only worth about when it has value. Africans don't have the ability to place value on diamonds and all this stuff like this because we have no commercial need for it. That's why building in Afrikstan, building an infrastructure is so important because we'll have need for lumber. We'll have need for oil. We'll have need for copper. We'll have need for industries and everything. Then we can set the price, fluctuate on our own terms. Right now, all the minerals you're talking about, right, only basically are what Europeans and everybody else place value on it, you know, of their needs. We have to create a need for this stuff by building African industry and infrastructure, you know? Yeah, economic son runs off the trick off on white women while the country remains in the dump. Pathetic. Yeah, it's the truth, but nobody talks about this. Nobody talks that the government of Canada, Paul Biya, is a puppet of France and whatnot, committing genocide in Amazonia. Nobody talks about this. So these are the conversations we have to. That's what the Africans can do, you know. Say, look, this is what we all do. But Africans basically want to do the scapegoat. Oh, European racism. No. Europeans gave you the keys to their country where they shouldn't be able to give it to the first place. And basically, you know, they say, hey, look, you know, and they let African countries manage their resources and everything. The countries don't really belong to Africans, you know. The swirling is scared of a strong Pan-African alliance. Yeah, you know. The Pan-Africanists, the swirlers like the Afro dumbass who has white guys on his show talking about black business and everything. Like he talks about the blacks and everything. He talks like a typical Negropean chimpanzee. You know, it's like a talking chimp, you know, Afro dumbass, you know. Imagine a chimp.
Talking chimp.
Those old movie with chimps that speak. Remember the Rise of the Planet Apes? He goes, "You're ape." He spoke. Heard that? He spoke.
Yeah, a talking chimp.
Afro
dumbass,
you know.
That's what I got. Somebody in another hater chat. That's what we call these hater chats. Here we go.
Real Pals is a Pan-African trade forum that happened last year. Where was BAO? The African trade forum, whatnot. You know. Okay. Well, that's between African and sovereign European, Caribbean countries. We're not a sovereign country. We can't make any agreement. You know. That's why Afrikstan, based on African American being the majority, you know, that's what we're all about. African Americans being the majority, you know, then we can make those agreements and stuff like that because we have some sort of agency and autonomy. Yeah, why can't you guys see that? U.S. only agrees to make all products, but yeah, what if they decided they don't want to make those products anymore? You know, I mean, nobody's going to die if they don't have a cell phone. You know, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, brother, we got a lot of geniuses on tonight, man. I know I'm saying Einsteins, man.
You know, so it's a thing. You said.
I mean, I wish everything was as simple as how people make it out to be.
Yeah, which like the president Adu talk about arguing with the Swiss people. We're not gonna give you no more cuckoo. We're gonna no cuckoo. Oh, cuckoo. And Ivory Coast aren't complaining. Whatever they're doing, they're not complaining. They're satisfied. You never hear anything coming from the Ivory Coast.
I mean, if you can go independent, go independent. But if you can't go independent, don't call their bluff.
Yeah, because they will basically call you.
Because I mean, they'll find another way, even if they gotta make it by, make one of them 3D machines.
And they'll next thing you know, whoa, no more cuckoo. Yeah, they got those synthetic chocolate and whatnot, and everything like that. And you can't tell the difference and whatnot, Look like a lot of stuff you eat. The vegan people, they just throw anything together and call it chicken and whatnot. So and Bill Gates is already working on that meat that comes from shit and everything. They're already making fake ass food out there and whatnot. What makes you think they can't make fake ass cuckoo?
I mean, if they can make fake chicken, brother, and fake nuggets and fake all this other stuff.
That's a fake nugget. You ever bite into a chicken nugget?
You can make some fake chocolate.
You ever bite into a chicken sandwich, right? Sometimes that's why I eat McDonald's no more, man. I said, this ain't no fucking chicken, man. They got part of it's chicken, the rest of it's like rubber. This is what you're getting right now, man. They're making fake food. So, man, they basically having mercy on Ghana, right? By engaging them, Don't push their button, man. They're gonna find a way how to make synthetic cocoa and chocolate. You have no chocolate, Play your hand, man. Develop Ghanaian industries, factories, and start branding. Like Liberia is branding chocolates itself, its own chocolates, But Liberia is a much older country in this country. That's why Liberians can come up with stuff like that. It's a much older country, And you start to see it the way Liberians approach things. Like you don't see Liberians complaining about their commodity price on that. They start manufacturing stuff and whatnot. Whatever they already make and whatnot. And they're not taking on any debt from the IMF. So like that,
There you go, family. So yes, Kala, it's about that time, man. It's about that time. I'm sure you got work in the morning and everything.
Oh, yeah.
I'm saying this, but yes, so what we have to do, family, we have to reclaim our birthright by coming
the last question by white
strong
people.
union, family. Question coming up.
Yeah, so one of the last one said, we Black African, Black African infrastructure, which can be fueled by Pan-Africanism is a Black African infrastructure, and how to do that? If you got to get the Black people, not saying Black America is the most intelligent, I'm not saying that at all, but we're the ones that basically have basically lived in an area where we're completely dominated by white people. My brother David Hitt, we're gonna have him on soon, right? African American Nation, the AA Nation guy, right? He lives in Virgin Islands. He said, man, you got to know what it's like to live around all Black people here and Black people in the police, the Coast Guard, everything's all Black. Even though it's part of the United States, he says all Black people here, He goes, he's getting you ready for what it's like to live in a Black world, And so like that,
These comments is wild, yo.
That's why I said dollar store general. He thinks Afrikstan thinking Tariq is gonna form some alliance with him about and Tariq is not anti. If Tariq basically is all about respecting Black America and stuff like that and checking. Tariq is a natural jokester. He's like a fighter when it comes to like the joking, clowning, and sarcasm and everything. So when Africans walk up to Tariq and start talking smack, he smacks them down, So Afro Dumbass takes it as this, I'm gonna find a thing. And a lot of people know, like Nakmi just said, a lot of people take advantage of Black America with Pan-Africanism and everything like that, But we're changing the narrative, We're changing the narrative, that anymore, So
family, we're on a whole, we're on a higher level, and we're taking this to where making it to where people got to step their game up, because making it more practical, because so many people have gotten away from running their mouth and talking, like one called himself all these different titles and names. I was saying he's like the greatest of all time, like he Ali or somebody.
I ain't gonna go there.
We're not gonna go there. But yeah, Kala, it was good, man. Let me try to find.
Nobody else want to come in? Yeah, okay, we can end it.
I've been posting a link. If they want to come, they can come on and talk. But I think you'd be intimidating people. That's how they be getting off.
Yeah, I just say man, we're basically saying the truth. Nobody ever said we got to give up America. I've never said that. That's coming from the Kala Genesis. I never said America like this. America has been good to me. I have a business when I just got a new contract today. Yeah,
Excellent.
I'll be honest with you, man. I'm doing really well, But like I said, I would like to do more.
Yes.
What's missing is my connection outside of America, right? That's why I disagree with Nag Meeson. But I got this. I got this American thing on lock, man. I had it my whole life. I never struggled. I was never poor. America. I did the American thing. I want to know what it's like to be independent. Because when I was going to school, I grew up with a lot of Italians, Poles, Irish, German. They will always go back to their countries. They'll always go back to their country. They had a country to go back to. Even my Caribbean friends could go to islands. I could go to no place. They say, "You going to North Carolina? What the hell is North Carolina?" North Carolina is not my damn homeland. Now you go to North Carolina, it's not even black anymore. Even the black area, you go to Elizabeth City, it's white people own that shit now. Even in areas that we used to take pride in and whatnot. All white people buying this shit up and gentrifying and whatnot. So we got nothing. What's to ours? Like I said, I'm proud of what I have right here, but the bottom line is I need more. And the Pan-African nation building, the Black African infrastructure world is the answer. Dr. doesn't mention individual Africans by leader, but she does talk about African leaders. No, that's not good enough. She talks about in vague and abstract terms, right? She never calls about leaders by name. She called French President Macron by name. She never said like this, this leader right here is doing give specifics. And not every leader in Africa is doing what the leader Equatorial Paul Kagame needs to be exemplified of what he does. So Dr. Arikana is not being honest about her deal. She says, but she does that. Her audience is mostly black people in the diaspora in America. Oh, Dr. Arikana, whatnot. But they never talk about the problems in Africa where Africans are causing the problems. As Africans themselves will cause a problem. There's nobody telling Africans to go to Europe to study, stay there for 30 years and don't come back. She goes when she criticized black people, she goes, when she says diaspora, she thinks there's all these people in the West, right? Most of the black people in the diaspora that are doing really well are African American descent, Black America, who are Pan-Africanists, right? They don't have the same geopolitical status as somebody like, for example, part of the African diaspora are the whites, Indians, everybody else that was born on the continent. Afrikaners, right, even according to her, are actually legitimate Africans to her. They're born on the continent. So when we talk about if you go to one of these African diaspora meetings, forums and whatnot, you'll see whites there, you'll see Indians there, you'll see Chinese there, you'll see Africans there calling whites that live in the country my fellow brother and sister. They had a Namibian girl that lives in Namibia and whatnot. Oh yeah, I'll accept you as a sister and whatnot. These African guys got no shame. They see a white woman. You go to Africa, man, they'll make her a queen in a minute, man, So when we talk about Pan-African, our version of Pan-African is based on our history of race, black people. White people living in Africa, just white people living in Africa. The Africans, that's why they had to get rid of the original OAU. The African Union does not define being African by race. It defines by geography. That's why they let Haiti in the African Union, because Haiti's not African enough. Morocco, who doesn't want to be part of the African Union, Africa is begging to join, is African, right? So is Tunisia and Algeria, but Haiti, an all-black country that started the whole world revolution. We owe a lot to Haiti for the revolution they started, 200 something years ago, but they're not African enough. Make that make sense. All the countries like Trinidad, Guyana, and all that, they're not African enough. Afro-Colombian, and all these other people that are in the diaspora, Afro-Brazilians, they're not African enough. So Africa is defined silly, but they just completely erase the significance of the transatlantic slave trade. And everything Dr. Arikana talks about is colonialism. Colonialism, if you really look at it, ended slavery and built modern Africa. The cities like Kinshasa and all that was built during colonial times. The white man built the railways and everything like that in most of Africa, But the Africans then fumbled it and didn't follow up and improve on anything. Now you got one person doing that, Paul Kagame. They want to take him out. So, that's what I want to say about that. Yeah, I know Africans talk about corruption. I know Africans talk. I hear them all the time. Trust me, I hear them all the time. But when they get on these forums, right? As soon as they talk about corruption and everything, you know what the problem is? You know what the problem is, brother? Brother? Is the fact that as long as you have the World Bank, the IMF, and all these World Economic Forum, World Disaster this, and they basically pay for African leaders to go to Europe, and what they do is this. When an African leader, he knows he's not shit in this country. That President of Ecuador, again, he attended every one of these so-called global forums that had in Europe last year, I think he even came to the United States with that U.S. Africa summit, I think he would go see the Queen of England, in a coach bus. When they bring that back in their country and their leaders are shaking hands with Western leaders, that tells the people that their people are their leader, no matter how much they hate them, are still in charge. So Western leaders basically are responsible for this. And when they now China's made it even worse. Because China, at least the Westerners, are trying to call these leaders to task a little bit, right? China does not give a damn about human rights violations and exploitation and everything. They just want what they want. They stay out of African affairs. And I don't think Africa has ever reached a point where someone can say it. Now, the only people that's capable of bringing this to light are Black American and the diaspora, We're the only ones capable of doing this because the Chinese got their interests. Europeans got their interest, right? And America got their interest. Black America, right? That's why they're trying to basically stop Black America, our influence in Africa. People like Afro Dumbass, They're trying to stop our influence. Why? Because they know we're going to go after these corrupt people and also they know we're going to go out. We talk about the child sex predators and stuff like that, which they don't. Have you ever seen Afro Dumbass talk about child sex predators or white men abusing Black girls and Black boys? No, he won't. The only people that talk about that are African Americans and Black militants in America. That's why they want to stop us, Their little Africa paradise that they created over the last 100 years is threatened by us, That's why they're trying to attack us right now. That's why people like the unapologetic Negro Peon attack Black people coming to Africa and whatnot, because they know we're the only ones that's going to basically talk about this stuff. As crazy as Art Capty was and whatnot, but she went in on those Europeans over there exploiting African children. So therefore they made her the issue, not what she was talking about.
Yes, Kala. Yes, Kala. It's one of those time, Kala. It is a closeout session, so let me just wrap this thing up.
We'll see you on Saturday night.
Wrap this up. Yes, family. Thank you for joining us again on another live stream. And we will definitely connect back with you with more hot topics for Pan-Africanism and nationhood.
All right, brother. I'll see you later, brother. Peace and Black power.
Yes, brother. You take care. See ya. We're going to have a nice closeout session with some music from Melanie Ganji while we're playing our website. And that is Sankofa Bird.
It was the year 1957. The African Republic of Ghana regained her independence from colonial forces under the careful leadership of the Honorable Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Blessed by His Imperial Majesty, Haile Selassie, Kadamawi, Kadamawi, Kadamawi. Hey, hey.
Return to the roots. Come get your truths and your blessing. Son, go forward. A message and a lesson. Return to the roots. Come get your truths and your blessing. United we stand, and we standing strong. From the examples of Ghana, got to be working together. Black Star, Black generation. gold and green. Life, color, life, liberation. Black and pink cross. Symbols from creation. It was a sun, cold bird. A message in the lesson. Return to the roots. Connect your truth and your blessing. Sun, cold bird. A message in the lesson. Return to the roots. Connect your truth and your blessing. Return to your roots and get 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 your blessing. The call and response. Rhythms of djembe and kete. Sounding far and distance. Regenerating vibration. From corner to curb. The million voices